for your needs. We also offer a large selection of extras such as customizable debit cards, electronic statements, online banking and bill pay, mobile banking, and mobile deposit. We also have a great client services team ready to answer your questions with our live chat. Visit our website at www.adkbank.com. Use the checking comparison tool and see which options are best for you. That's adkbank.com. Member FDIC.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Keeler Show today. It's time to read the news and weather. Time to figure out what to say. It's time to turn the channel of the Keeler Show today. Why do we always listen? Keeler's always in the know. It makes me want to call him and tell him where to go. And now let's get things started. Andrew, let's get things started. It's time to get things started. On the most sensational, inspirational, celebrational, Keelerational. This is what we call the Keeler Show.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Man, I got to tell you, the cooler temperatures feel pretty darn good out there this morning, don't they? Love it.
I mean, it does feel good, and it's a lot easier to sleep in. But are we getting, we're saying goodbye to summer early?
I don't think so, no.
There is a chill in the air. I think I mentioned that.
This is awesome summer. I mean, 75 degrees today and sunshine all week long. I'm all about that.
Yeah, I guess I can't complain about it either, because when it gets up into the mid-80s, it is really hot. And when you're doing games, you just sweat incredibly.
Well, the rest of the country is not getting to enjoy what we are right now with this relief in the heat. The South is still hot. The Northwest is still hot. And the Northeast, I mean, we're actually a little warmer than they are in Boston and up into Maine. It's actually cooler up there. So let's take it this week. Not bad.
Okay, fine. We'll take it.
Let's take it. The Mets begin the sell-off.
Yeah, I can't say that I fault. I can't say that I fault them. They spend a ton of money on guys considered by some to be mercenaries that look for a team that is built for success, that needs pitching right away. And I'm talking about Scherzer and Verlander, and they want to win right now. These guys are at the end of their career. They don't want to waste time rebuilding. They don't want a first-round playoff exit. They want a team that's built to go deep, and they want to be bolsters. They want to bolster those rotations. So Scherzer had to go. He had to approve the trade. So Texas is in first place. And Scherzer made some comments after they dealt Robinson, essentially that he was disappointed. And don't ask me for answers. You got to go ask the owner what the plan is now, because I don't know what the plan is, and I'd like to know what the plan is.
Yeah.
And what are we going to do here? And I don't want to give up on the season. And I think he got the answer of it's not going to happen this year, so we're going to go in a different direction. And I think ultimately that's why he agreed to the Texas trade. And I'm hearing Verlander might be next.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess the opportunity to be able to both of them are pitching really well right now. Verlander had a great game yesterday.
Yeah.
Won his 250th game, and so I guess this is what happens. You mentioned New Hartford is looking for details on an accident that occurred over the weekend.
Yes, it was a car pedestrian accident. It happened in Consumer Square over by 5 Below, or as I like to call it now, 10 Below, or 20 Below.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was a car pedestrian accident, and they are looking for anybody who might have seen the accident, witnessed the accident. I would have to imagine, though, isn't there all kinds of cameras in that lot?
I would think, and we're dealing with another issue, I think, where police in New Hartford are asking for help if anybody witnessed. And the problem is it's in the middle of the night. I don't know what cameras are able to get in the middle of the night in this case, but there were, in a couple of developments in New Hartford, there were eggs thrown at cars covered in eggs. And you know when that dries and the sun gets on it, it's very difficult to get off. In some cases, you can't get it off the paint on your car.
Yeah, so they did this to parked vehicles or moving?
Parked.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
So
now,
it was done in the middle of the night, and everybody wakes up the next morning on Sunday morning with a whole bunch of their vehicles all egged.
well, obviously, it sounds to me like a stupid high school prank.
Yeah, but usually, I mean, what I find interesting is that's usually a Halloween thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And do you know the price of eggs right now? What the hell are you doing?
Well, the other thing is I was afraid you were going to say they were doing it while the vehicles were driving, which could really cause a terrible accident.
I don't think that was the case. In Whitesboro, and I got to say, I'm baffled by this story.
Okay.
You're familiar with the story that we had last week where the man was taking photos, using a camera, taking pictures on the train tracks, and was struck and killed by a train. That happened in Whitesboro. Mm-hmm. Now, did you ever get into the WRUN building over there?
Like just off the swamp there? No.
Yeah.
No.
So
I've driven by it. I've never been in it. I've driven to the lot. There
came a point where there were some investors looking to buy a radio station, and I toured with them to give an assessment. And it was, and if anybody who's ever worked in that building will tell you, when the train went by, everything rumbled. You're on the air, everything was rumbling, and you could actually hear it on the air if you were in the middle of a newscast or something like that. So here's the story. The man who died was hit by the train, has now been identified. It happened at around about almost 6 o'clock on Thursday night in Whitesboro. Originally, deputies were unable to identify the man because he had no ID, but later a cell phone was found. He's been identified as 25-year-old Dakota Williams of Whitesboro. So here's the part that I don't understand. It's believed he was walking in the area of two sets of railroad tracks taking photos. According to the crew of the train, they told deputies Williams was standing in between the rails of the track the train was on with his back to them. The crew blew the horn and pulled the emergency brake, but it appears that Williams did not hear the horn. The train was unable to stop before hitting him. I don't want to, this is a terrible situation, but to me it just doesn't make any sense. Number one, you don't hear the horn, and number two, you would feel the rumble of that train. I mean, I've been in that radio station, was right next to the train tracks, and if you had a cup of coffee sitting on a desk, you'd see the coffee ripples in the coffee or whatever drink you're drinking.
I just almost wonder if it's the terrain really close to the radio station that makes it rumble so much.
Still, though, let's not worry about that. How would you not hear the horn, and how would you not feel the rumble of the tracks?
This didn't happen to me. This was a story, and I think I said this on the air before. My father was walking along the train tracks in South Utica. And again, we live in an age of noise-canceling headphones. And
that's possible, too.
People vent, like he'll go for a walk to kind of get things off his chest, think things out, get that little power walk going on. And he was walking the dog, and he said we were walking. along next to the train tracks, and he goes, the dog would not stop. She was going nuts. And he goes, stupid me, like I didn't realize I had the headphones in, and I just thought I'd be able to hear the train. And he goes, and when I finally turned, I mean, the train was 15 feet away, and it was barreling down, and if I didn't move, we were going to get hit.
Wow.
So, and again, he's like, I'll never do that again with the headphones on the train track. I makes you wonder if something like that.
Listen, I didn't even think about it. It's certainly possible. But one thing you don't want to do, it's just as your dad said, you don't want to wear noise-canceling headphones and walk on, or even cross railroad tracks.
He said if I wasn't walking with the dog, I would have been run over if I was in that same spot.
Anyway, a very sad story that ended very badly. The train conductor says they sounded the horn and put on the emergency brake, but were not able to stop.
I'm not being cute. I'm not trying to be funny at all. I'm just wondering if, in some is there a way that we can give these conductors like a paintball gun? In a situation like this, where you're like, you start plinking the guy in the back with a paintball gun, so you get his attention.
Terrible end of the story. In upstate New York, fire company, I guess he was the treasurer, has, this story ended very badly, ultimately stole about $850,000 from the fire company. This happened at the Hannibal Fire Company in the Syracuse area. 77-year-old George Perry Jr. was the treasurer. Had been a volunteer for 60 years. For 50 of them, he was also the department's treasurer, handling an annual budget that grew to more than $400,000 and included taxpayer money. The problem is, over the years, he had been writing checks to himself and also took out a credit card that was being paid for by the fire company. The fire department discovered the credit card and then turned things over, put him on leave, and then turned things over to the state comptroller. They released a detailed report of how much money between the accounts and the credit cards that was stolen. They're saying it was at least $850 between 2016 and 2022. And he controlled it. He was an award-winning firefighter, and no one suspected a thing. Over 800 checks, they say, totaling $451,000 over an 8.5-year period.
Wow. According
to the audit. He signed 123 checks directly to himself, totaling more than $90,000. Sadly, he went into a park, put a gun to his head, and killed himself while the investigation was going on, according to authorities. But a lot of money there. I mean, does it start as a little bit, and then you're like, okay, I'm going to pay it back, and then there's a little more, and before you know it, it's so much that you can't pay it back? I don't understand how you get to that point.
Yeah, I guess I don't quite understand either, and I wonder if that's what it is. Listen, nobody's going to notice this $250.
Nobody's going to know. But nobody's going to know now. I mean, they're going to know, but they're not going to know why.
They're not going to know why. But, I just wonder if it continues to build. I mean, we see this. And it also, again, I don't know the circumstances, just thinking out loud here. I just wonder if there was, whether it was a medical issue, an addiction issue, that people need this side income to feed whatever that ailment is in their life. And if that's where the money goes, whether it's gambling or drugs or what it might be. But that's a lot. $850,000 for a little fire department. I mean, that's a lot of chicken barbecues to make that money.
It's a lot of money to take from a fire company that size. Yep. Okay. You remember when CNN was doing their? They had all of a sudden they had when we're talking about the January 6th situation, and of course the election in which former President Trump kept saying that he had won, that it had been stolen from him, the votes were there was corruption, etc. But no corruption could be found. And even if there was little pieces where someone who was dead had voted, you heard a lot about that, there may have only been a couple of cases where that happened. And usually in those cases, it's someone trying to, somebody passes away shortly before the election, and somebody trying to, and maybe it was an absentee ballot. So the absentee ballot came in, the person died, and if that happens, that absentee ballot can't be counted. So there were a few cases like that, but nothing to the level that would have changed the outcome of the election. Now, CNN began calling it the big lie when referring to President Trump, calling it the big lie. I don't know if you know this, but the president, the former president, sued CNN for $475 million in damages, claiming the references hurt his reputation and political career. Now, a federal judge has dismissed the lawsuit from Trump and thrown out the case.
So we talked about this a while back, and I actually agreed with your point. It's not appropriate for a, quote, news organization to label that the big lie.
Yeah, I really felt that was passing a judgment, as if they were the jury, saying they would be better off just presenting the facts, saying there's no evidence, and there was no evidence. But at the end of the day, the judge said CNN's use of the phrase "the big lie" in connection with Trump's election challenges does not give rise to a plausible interference that Trump advocates claim the persecution. I guess they compared it to the persecution of Jews or other groups of people, the judge wrote in his decision. Ultimately, they had the right to do it. They also, in the case, compared it to Nazi Germany, Nazi propaganda. Not sure where all of that came from, but the judge has thrown out the case.
I will say this, though. I guess in some level of defense, if that's what others were calling it, I can understand.
That apparently is what the Trump attorneys were saying. They were comparing the phrase would connect Trump's efforts challenging the 2020 election result to Nazi propaganda or Hitler's genocide. According to the judge. I don't know how they got there. I'd have to read the whole thing.
It's quite a stretch.
Nonetheless, it's completely thrown out. And it again becomes very difficult to sue someone famous. It also becomes very difficult to sue a news agency. However, it has been done when they get it wrong. But in this case, the judge is saying they didn't get it wrong. And there are no damages to the former president. One more I wanted to throw in, and I want to talk about this weather forecast. There's I hear more and more people complaining that there's a new Wegmans coming to New York City. It'll be the first Wegmans in Manhattan, and they're saying it is going to be it's going to be the first Wegmans without a what?
It's going to be the first Wegmans without a...
It is being built in downtown Manhattan. It will be the first Wegmans ever built without a what?
This is a complete guess, but I think I got it. Parking lot?
Without a parking lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. There will be no parking lot at the Wegmans in New York City. Obvious. A guess, but you might not have thought of that. Still,
when are we going to get a Wegmans?
Here's the
I hear that all the time.
That's the complaint that I keep hearing. It's like there's a Wegmans. They're putting a Wegmans in Manhattan. Why is there no Wegmans in
New Hartford, Whitesboro? Yeah,
you hear it all the time. Okay, a wonderfully cool start and a wonderful cool night to sleep last night. It started out yesterday. I believe it was Saturday morning. Started out very hot, very humid. And then came the rain, and it rained all day long. But it was a beautiful day yesterday, and it's expected to be beautiful as the week goes on. Craig Flint is the meteorologist at Eyewitness News, WUTR, and he's on the line right now. Craig, good morning.
Good morning, Keeler. Manaski, good morning to you.
How you doing?
Wegmans hands down in New Hartford. They just got to battle. They just got to battle Price Chopper at Market 32. I think that's the sticking point there.
You
I think it's a territorial thing.
You keep hearing that there was an agreement between the two families years ago that they would never come past whatever. You won't find a Wegmans in Albany, but you'll find a Price Chopper. So
right,
yeah,
exactly.
You're right. Yeah, and now you'll find one in New York. Okay.
There you go.
Can we get an agreement with the Canadian Smoke that they will not come east of Buffalo?
And I gotta say that they're saying with these cool temperatures and the change in the jet stream, we may be back dealing with the smoke again. Is that true?
You know what? I was actually shocked yesterday because I've gotten to the point this summer where I just kind of said to myself when I'm forecasting, I'm like, okay. Anytime the wind goes northwest, we're going to get at least a little bit of smoke in here, right?
Yeah.
So I was actually shocked yesterday that it was as pretty as it was, with more of a northwesterly wind. We didn't get the smoke yesterday. I'm not saying that it's not going to happen again, but that was a pleasant surprise. I don't see any indications that we're going to get it at least to any extensive level this week either. Now, that could change. I mean, when you're talking about a smoke forecast, you really only kind of get a glimpse of the next, 24 to 36 hours, really. But yeah, that was a pleasant surprise. Could it happen again? Yes, but so far indications are that it won't. So that'll be nice.
I like it.
Finally get some nice air, fresh air in here. So,
and I'm no expert on this. I've only checked this website ever since this whole wildfire thing began. For Utica, New York, on airnow.gov, it looks like our score is 25, and the ozone score is 21.
Wow,
I've never
low.
seen it so low, so that's great quality.
Yeah. Yeah, and the cool thing about that website is it kind of gives you both. So if you remember back to when we had the real thick smoke, obviously that was hazardous air quality and whatnot, but it also will give you, like, the ozone level. And, when we talk about ozone, it's actually good up in the atmosphere, not so much down here. So when we talk about ozone, that's like ground level ozone. So from cars and basically what we do every day, and sometimes that stagnant air can get trapped at the surface on a hot, humid day, while we're talking about the wildfire smoke, which is it's ozone, but it's completely unrelated.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that is a cool little site to reference every day. But yeah, the numbers way down. I think they will be again today. Really, the only fly in the ointment today is we get a brief, 5-minute shower as we head through the day today. Other than that, I think some really nice weather as we head into this week. Next chance after today of anything significant, and it's not all that big, would be late Thursday into Friday. The humidity will come up again. Another chance of a shower, thunderstorm by late Thursday. I would, at least at this early vantage point, plan on some showers and thunderstorms Friday, and then hopefully we can clear it out again and some less humid weather again as we head into the weekend. But really a nice-looking week as we get ready to start August tomorrow.
Yeah, and this is really the beginning of the end. I hate to say it. Before you know it, actually, Davey today is spent the weekend in Buffalo for the Bills training camp as they opened up. Back to school talk. Before you know it, the state fair will be on, and before you know it, we'll be celebrating Labor Day. But let's not get. It's still July, so let's not get too far ahead of ourselves.
Last day of July. Yeah.
But
you know what? I always kind of get a chuckle out of this, and I know we all do it. I'm guilty of it too. But the whole small talk of man, oh man, could you believe it's August? It's like, well, yeah, I kind of can because that comes after July.
This year it does.
Listen, you are the only meteorologist to say that. Most of the rest of them are like, wow, I can't believe it's already August 1st. And you actually, I heard a YouTube compilation that was done of that, and it was all weathermen, weatherwomen, and newscasters. That on June 1st, July 1st, August 1st, they just can't believe how quickly this has flown by. So, but I appreciate your reality check here.
Can I just say you never hear it when they go, do you believe it's already March 1st?
Yeah.
It's already April 15th.
Yeah.
It's always winding down the good weather.
So, but these next 2 days, mostly sunny and just really, really nice. Actually, next 3 days, right? It's going to be a good run of low humidity. I like it.
Yeah. I mean, even other than that brief that could crop up somewhere this afternoon. It's actually what that is tonight. This chance of a shower today is actually a little reinforcing cold front that will slip south from the international border.
Okay.
So I think by the time we get into tomorrow and Wednesday, it's just going to tee us up for some really beautiful weather. I mean, and I'll tell you, at night, it's going to be dewy. It's going to be crisp. Some areas will be down into the 40s.
Wow.
So it will be kind of like an early fall preview, if you will, going into the next couple nights here.
Well, listen, if only fall could be this beautiful, we're going to be in really good shape. So,
Right.
Okay, Craig Flint, we appreciate it. Have a wonderful week. Thanks, man.
Talk to you guys later. Have a good week.
You too.
Also, I wanted to say on that Wegmans story, Mike this morning piping in saying, my guess was that Wegmans would be the first one open without restrooms to discourage the homeless people coming in. And that's one of the things that you find in New York City is if you have to use a restroom, good luck. Most places will not let you use the restroom unless you're patronizing them.
Well, so in a grocery store setting, though, all you have to do is go grab a gallon of milk, tuck a loaf of bread under your arm,
well, usually
go to the bathroom, and then put it back.
The grocery stores tend to be a little different, but again, find me a grocery store setting in New York. It's not that easy to find those. They're there, and they are there in the neighborhoods, but they look much different than the ones that we have here. Got a break. We'll come right back. It is Monday, the final day. I cannot believe it's already July 31st. Final day of the month of July. Come right back at WIBX.
Hi, I'm Jill Hayes.
And I'm Scott Hayes from New York Sash.
Scott, what do you like best about what we do?
You know, I like seeing the look on people's faces when we change their lives.
Scott, are you sure you're not getting carried away?
Hey, everything we do makes life easier and helps people love their homes a little more. Windows, siding, and how about our bathrooms? A new bathroom can be more than a cosmetic upgrade. It can also improve safety and usability.
Oh, you're totally right. Sorry, not used to that.
I know. But nothing's better than seeing the difference we make with a bathroom conversion, like a walk-in shower or a safety tub.
Right. It's peace of mind, better accessibility, and a safer layout. And they cost less than you'd think.
Plus, we can custom fit them. We're fully certified, and we can do the upgrade in just a few days, so you can safely enjoy your home for years to come.
Come see our bathroom accessibility options on display at the New York Sash Idea and Design Center on Oriskany Boulevard in Whitesboro. And as always, let our family take care of your family.
Join the Indium Corporation family. Indium Corporation has immediate openings for production operators and more at its local facilities. Attend our job fair from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Tuesday, August 1st at the Burstone Inn located at 1777 Burstone Road in New Hartford. All levels of experience are welcome, and on-the-spot offers will be made to qualified candidates with a $200 sign-on bonus. Benefits include varied shifts, competitive pay, and a safe work environment. Learn more at jobs.indium.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Thinking about gas mileage. You know, changing your oil with a full synthetic oil like Pennzoil Platinum can help your engine get more miles. Right now, you can get 5 quarts with an STP Extended Life Oil Filter for only $35.99. Get started on your next job today with the parts you need when you need them at AutoZone or AutoZone.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Mike this morning says, wow, it's almost already August 1st, and Jeff didn't have a story about the state fair today. Considering I think you've been running state fair stories since back in March.
Well, let me correct the record here.
Oh, you have one. You do have.
Organizers of the New York State Fair, and I did touch on this about a week and a half ago, but apparently there's some more info here. They've added yet another free experience for those to come and check out at the State Fairgrounds this year. The interactive dinosaur expedition will be set up at the fair's Exposition Center, and it'll feature replicas of several creatures, including the T-Rex. There will also be a fossil dig as part of a story time for kids. And here's the tagline I've read so many times. This year's fair begins on August 23rd and ends Labor Day, which is September 4th.
So I'm looking through the calendar now. If you're keeping it all, I almost find like it's. I remember my my grandmother. They lived in the country, and as the years went on, they got very nervous about people breaking in. And she'd get a great deal of anxiety, and to the point where, she was distraught over worrying about someone breaking into the house. But no one had ever broken into the house.
Right.
So I said, you're putting yourself through the trauma of someone breaking into your home, but no one has. So at the end of the day, you're experiencing someone breaking into your home,
right,
but they haven't, right? And I find the same thing seems, while it's much different, it happens in the month of August. People get so distraught over the fact that the summer is going to be over that they get all depressed, and you screw 4 weeks of a beautiful month.
Absolutely.
So don't worry about it. Just pay no attention to the Labor Day lingering in the near future. Pay no attention. Okay, I have a couple of great stories. This Barbie movie is enormous. When we were at the theater the other night watching the other movie there, Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer. Yeah.
When we were watching that movie, all of these kids were coming in, and they're all dressed in pink. Everybody, it's the thing. It's the new. I guess, color of the summer, they say. Everybody's dressed in pink. Hot pink, pink, whatever pink. They're all dressed in pink. 2 women squared off during the screening of Barbie in England. There was shouting, there was pushing, and one woman slapped the other woman in the face. I have a little audio of the fight. It's a news clip if you want it. You want to hear the fight?
Yes, please.
Here they are at the Barbie movie, all fighting. Call the police. Now, my guess is this is better than the movie.
I would have to imagine,
right?
yes.
Right. Last week, a couple of women in Brazil got into a fight when one was upset that the other let her kid watch YouTube on a tablet the entire movie. It was distracting, she said.
Yeah.
They fought during the final credits that included the song Billie Eilish by Billie Eilish, and they were fighting in the theater there. I don't know what's going on. I mean, this is supposed to be a happy movie that everybody, is in a good mood over.
I will tell you.
Don't you mess with my Barbie movie.
I am surprised at the number of people that I know that I've seen that have gone to this movie, and I actually saw a friend of mine had taken her daughter. They both got dressed up in these pink dresses. They kind of matched a little bit. But I'll be honest, the thought that I had in looking at this, and again, knowing this person's personality, made me think this Barbie movie experience is more about mom.
Yes, I agree.
It is about the daughter.
Yep, I agree.
And they're doing it together, and I think that's great.
And that's okay. That's a wonderful thing. But it is probably, the pilot of a small plane used to pull advertisement banners. You ever, you see it a lot in Daytona. You see it in Myrtle Beach. You're lying there in Miami. You're lying on the beach, and the planes go by with the banners. The pilot of one of those planes is okay after crashing it into a New Hampshire beach, just barely missing people swimming. Here are a couple of witnesses talking about actually what happened. By the way, there was no banner on the plane at the time that it came down.
It's going down. A plane's going down, and it's crashed. crashed, and we all stood up.
I look up, and all of a sudden you just see the whole thing coming down. I was like, just, couldn't even get out the word plane, you know what I'm saying? Everyone was just like, wait, what are you running to? I'm like, yo, save them.
He walked out in his clothes and socks and shoes, and he was shaken up, though.
Yeah, okay. That would be quite a sight to see, right?
Yes, and especially with Paula Abdul playing in the background.
That's wild.
I think somebody else was heading to the Barbie movie.
A burglary suspect in Ohio was caught in the act when he fell through. There are a couple of thievery stories here for you. When he fell through an access door of the bank's drive-through window. Here's the moment the police caught him jumping down and arrested him. Here is the audio. Yeah, those police officers were not fooling around. You know how they caught him? They never would have caught the guy. Never would have caught the guy, but he left they found a recycling bin that was positioned perfectly under the access door at the drive-thru. So outside the drive-thru, there's the out of nowhere, out of place, there was this barrel, and it's clearly what the guy climbed up on top of to get inside the access door. Otherwise, they wouldn't have caught him probably. Till afterwards. Phoenix man is facing charges after authorities say he got stuck in a home's chimney while trying to break inside.
Why do people continue to think that it's like a crawl space that you can maneuver in?
It is.
Santa does not come down the chimney.
So, without
he
magic.
does. Without magic.
Without
right.
magic.
Yes. Otherwise, he wouldn't fit.
Now, the old chimneys of yesteryear were probably perfect to do this. But the chimneys of today are not, there's no room for you to get down. And it'll get worse as you get further down.
Yeah.
I just can't imagine being stuck inside.
Right. Because you're claustrophobic.
I have that claustrophobia feeling. Like if there are too many people in an elevator, I'll step out before the door closes because I don't want to get caught in that thing. Just think about it. You wouldn't be able to move. You got 12 people in the elevator. See what this has done to me? I'm completely off track. I can't even imagine being stuck in the chimney. I had a dream the other night that we were going to a restaurant, and it was a small restaurant. So small that you had to climb up over top of things to get up into a nook. That was table one. There was another, and then yes, we have room for one table. There's one table left, and I'm making my way in, and I look at this crack, basically, about a foot long where you'd have to slide through that to get to the other side. I'm like, I'm not hungry, and I left the restaurant. This was a real dream that I had Sunday morning. I don't know what I was doing, but that was a weird one. Anyway, in this case, the man gets stuck in the chimney while trying to break inside. Irvin Ortiz Guzman was taken to the hospital. He's in stable condition. Here is the Phoenix fire captain talking about exactly what happened.
Crews were able to monitor him, monitor the atmosphere around him at all times. They were able to have contact with him at all times, speak to the gentleman, and provide water for him.
That's wonderful. But he had to be going crazy, right? He's stuck in that thing. I can't even think about it.
So again, you're not a crook, a criminal, and you wouldn't do this anyway. But if
I wouldn't have gone down the chimney.
Correct. If somebody did this, though, to my home, and I hope I would really do this, I would be like, hey, bud, look. You're going to stay there until you learn your lesson. Yeah. And if you keep yelling and screaming, we're going to have a little fire in the house
right.
tonight.
We're going to light
It's going to get really hot in there.
That's right.
But you can't do that, probably.
Yeah. I wish I didn't even read this story.
And the second thing I wanted to say on your dream about the restaurant, do you think this is like a side effect or a result of you're doing a lot of fasting? Is that right?
I am. I'm doing the fasting thing. Although this weekend was a disaster.
Okay. I just wondered if, in your dream, it's kind of correct. Like maybe if you didn't follow the fasting on Saturday when you were supposed to, if then you go and you have a dream, and in your dream, instead of enjoying a nice dinner,
is interesting.
You're starting to fast.
So in my dream, I'm going to a place to eat, and the building gets smaller and smaller and smaller to the point where it becomes uncomfortable. This could actually be a good for my diet, right? And I don't know, when we go to New York City, it's always cool to see the Mr. Softy trucks. I don't know whatever happened upstate, but we no longer have any of the Mr. Softies. Any of these trucks, which I haven't seen many this year. Have they been in your neighborhood?
I've only heard of one go by. As a matter of fact, because my neighbor was asking me because his daughter
kids love it. They hear
love it.
They come to you, and by the time you get there, the truck's usually gone by. Anyway, we have the frozen novelties, but I don't know of a single truck that goes through our area that has soft serve ice cream. Anyway, it's in other cities and in New York, and actually the brand Mr. Softy does exist in New York City. It's pretty cool. Love those really cool decorated trucks. However, some people hate the noise. Mr. Softy is open and in business in New Jersey, and a truck apparently disappeared from a neighborhood after somebody complained about the music that was playing on the truck. Here's the man. It looks like someone might have stolen it, and now they've got it back. Here's the president. I guess he's the vice president of the Mr. Softy Company, Mike Conway, talking about the complaint and the missing truck. Here we go.
A union?
Yeah.
Somebody was complaining about the music, and so Mr. Softy's not going to come down our street no more.
If it's too late, if it's past 10 o'clock at night, then we're like, okay, that's way too late. It's waking people up. But sometimes it could be 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon where, oh, you're waking up my sleeping baby. Well, it's like, hey, well, there's 40 other kids in the neighborhood that are running around and want ice cream.
Yeah, shut up, right?
Yeah.
Apparently, they just stopped going to that neighborhood. Nothing was stolen at all.
I actually think there's an opportunity, though, if there are particular neighborhoods, maybe it's a certain people who came from a certain country, you could play music native to where they came from. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
It doesn't have to be the piano, do, all that. I mean, why couldn't you just change the song? And you could be, there's a business opportunity there is my point. Maybe you could even, if it's a certain neighborhood that doesn't like that music or they find it annoying, maybe you could play rock or hip hop.
Well, maybe
or R&B
to solve the problem. Maybe you just go through the neighborhood doing the lullaby song, and then you can be like, da, 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 da,
yeah.
da.
Well, isn't that what they're saying is annoying?
Who's going to complain? No, it's not a lullaby song. And then one more I want to do, and Jack, I'll take you in a second. Former President Donald Trump. Somebody's going to get fired over this. This happened over the weekend. Did you see this? Trump walked on stage at a rally in Iowa on Friday, and you know how they'll play the music and stuff as he's coming out. And usually it's like Lee Greenwood and stuff like that. They played a Brooks and Dunn song called Only in America.
Only in America.
And during the song, the lyrics say one could end up going to prison, and that's at the very moment. Did you see this, Ben?
That was pretty funny.
At the very moment Trump walked on the stage. And it talked about him going to prison, or talked about the lyric was going to prison. Anyway, here is the audio of that. Check it out. Now, just at that moment, going to prison, President Trump walked out onto the stage. Somebody's got to get fired for that.
Now that was completely an accident, they're saying? Or
I'm
did
not,
Trump...
what I'm saying is, I don't know how that happened. Someone's going to be in trouble for it. Quickly, Jack, on Mr. Softy. Good morning.
Yes, we used to have one in Rome.
We did
used
too.
To be over on Dock Stater. They used to have a garage. But I've noticed in Utica one truck so far that I saw that looks almost similar. He has almost a similar design and everything as Mr. Softy, but he calls himself Mr. Soft.
Mr. Soft, okay.
Yes.
This is, so he's skipping.
It almost it doesn't have the cone face.
Okay. I wonder if they have, I'm up against the clock here, Jack, but.
That's okay, that's no problem.
I wonder if they actually have soft ice cream. That would be cool.
I wonder
Jack,
if his wife gave him the nickname.
Thank you for that, WIBX Utica. Rome, it's 7 o'clock.
Another Trump staffer goes to federal court today in Miami. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, caught up in the classified documents case against the former president, accused of lying to investigators and trying to help delete security footage at the Trump Mar-a-Lago resort.
Trump legal spokeswoman Alina Habba on Fox News Sunday said nothing illegal happened.
When we get to file our papers, you will see that every single video, every single surveillance tape that was requested was turned over.
The superseding indictment from last week also added Mar-a-Lago property manager Carlos de Oliveira as a defendant, whom the DOJ says conspired with the former president to hide the requested footage.
Fox's Gernal Scott. Also today, House Republicans will question in private Devin Archer.
This was a person who was in business with Hunter Biden and Biden family members. He was the BFF of the president's son.
So Republican Congresswoman Nancy Mace tells Fox he should give them a lot of information as a board member along with Hunter Biden on the Burisma Ukrainian energy company.
So what will Devin Archer say today? A Wall Street Journal report suggests he'll say Joe Biden was not substantially involved in Hunter's business deals, but at the same time, he is expected by some to say that the elder Biden did participate in dozens of phone calls which could directly contradict what the president has said.
Fox's Doug Luzader. 5 years ago, Archer was convicted of fraud in a case unrelated to the Bidens. Over the weekend, federal prosecutors asked the judge to set a date for Archer to report to prison to serve his one-year sentence. It's sentencing day for Lori Vallow Daybell. The Idaho mother could get up life without parole for murdering her two youngest children and conspiring to kill her fifth husband's ex-wife. A trucking company no longer trucking. Yellow is shutting down.
The company reportedly ready to declare bankruptcy despite getting a $700 million loan from the government during the COVID-19 pandemic. The company has been saying it was in financial trouble.
That's Fox's Ted Lindner. America's listening to Fox News.
Russian officials recently revealed a new global supercurrency backed by physical gold will be announced on August 22nd with support from China, India, and other countries. Many economists warn this could radically change the world economy and possibly destroy the value of the dollar. And that means the value of your 401k or IRA is at risk. Hi, Stephen K. Bannon. I want to urge you to protect yourself and your family right now. How? By diversifying your 401k or IRA into physical gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. To see how it works, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word PROTECT to 989898. August 22nd will be here before you know it, so take action today. Fortify your nest egg using the power of gold inside of a tax advantage account. Text PROTECT to the number 989898. That's PROTECT to 989898 to get your free information kit on gold IRAs right now.
We have cloudy skies, 55 degrees. WIBX news time is 7:03. And this news update is brought to you by Cliff's Local Market. They keep you going. New Hartford police asking for help investigating an accident that occurred on Saturday afternoon at a popular spot in New Hartford. First responders were called to an area near 5 Below in Consumer Square for a car pedestrian accident. The victim had to be taken to the hospital. Police are asking anyone who may have witnessed the accident to come forward. You can contact New Hartford Police at 315-724-7111. Congressman Brandon Williams providing an update to his constituents on his current medical condition. Williams says he developed an infection after undergoing heart bypass surgery a few weeks ago. As a result, a team of doctors at George Washington University in D.C. had to give him an IV antibiotic treatment to address the problem. Williams, a Republican, says he remains on the road to recovery. Central New York drivers still paying more to fill up their vehicles thanks to a surge in gas prices locally. According to AAA, the average cost for a gallon of regular fuel here in the Utica Rome market is at $3.85 this morning. That's up almost a dime over the past week. Our neighbors in Syracuse paying an average of $3.78 a gallon. Right now, the statewide average is at $3.81. And with summer in full swing and not over just yet, the New York State Department of Health reminding everyone to keep themselves safe from dangerous UV rays. The agency says anyone who spends time outdoors should wear sunscreen and make sure to reapply it after swimming or sweating. Prolonged exposure to UV can lead to melanoma, which is the 9th most common type of cancer in the state. People also reminded they should have on sunglasses to protect their eyes and reduce the risk of cataracts. WIBX News Time is 7:05. Your Weather Center forecast calling for a nice day on tap today. We are looking at mostly sunny skies, slight chance of a rain shower or maybe a thunderstorm this afternoon, but it shouldn't last long if we do get it. Otherwise, sunny skies with a high reaching 76 degrees. Slight chance of showers and a thunderstorm before 9 p.m. Otherwise, mostly cloudy overnight with a low of 53. That's great sleeping weather. Tuesday, mostly sunny, a high of 75. Wednesday, mostly sunny, a high of 78. And Thursday, slight chance of a shower or thunderstorm. Otherwise, partly sunny skies and a high of 82. Bill, right now we have a few clouds, 55 degrees. WIBX News Time is 7:06. All right, in sports, the Mets did win their series with the Washington Nationals, and Justin Verlander got the victory, his 250th of his career. He struck out 5 batters, allowing 1 run over 5 1/3 innings. The Mets win 5-2. They're now 50-55 on the season. They visit the Kansas City Royals to start a 3-game series beginning tomorrow night at Kauffman Stadium. The Orioles, meanwhile, take their series against the Yankees. 9-3 was the final last night. Luis Severino charged with the loss. Jake Bauers managed to go 2 for 5 at the plate with a solo homer and a pair of RBIs. The Yankees now 55-50. They drop back into last place in the AL East, and they will open up a series tonight, a 3-game set against the Tampa Bay Rays. Football news. Sterling Shepard is healthy once again. The Giants wide receiver was activated from the physically unable to perform list on Sunday, saying he felt great and his first practice since tearing his left ACL last fall. Shepard not only did individual drills in the team's 4th practice, but he even took some reps in live drills. The season is a little more than 5 weeks away. Elsewhere in sports, Aaron Rodgers unlikely to suit up for Thursday night's Hall of Fame game in Canton against the Cleveland Browns, but that's not stopping him from taking shots at another team. The Jets quarterback defended offensive coordinator Nathaniel Hackett for the comments recently made by Denver Broncos head coach Sean Payton. He said, "I think it was way out of line, inappropriate, and I think he needs to keep my coaches' names out of his mouth," end quote. Last week, Payton called Hackett's tenure with the Broncos in 2022 one of the worst coaching jobs in the history of the NFL. New York visits Denver in Week 5 of the upcoming regular season.
So yesterday, or I guess Saturday, is when Honor America Days, the Oneida County Fair wound down over the weekend. But Saturday was just such a washout. A lot of the festivities of Honor America Days were moved to yesterday, including the symphony concert, which was last night. And man, they had perfect weather for that, right?
Yeah,
it was turned out to be quite beautiful. And there's just so much happening every weekend. It seems that we're like out of COVID now, and all of these events are like happening.
Stacked. Yeah,
so there was
stacked.
something going on at City Hall. There was the Ukrainian Festival also happening this weekend, and everybody just got rained out terribly on Saturday.
Yeah.
But man, Sunday made up for it. It was really nice. Listen, got a break. Hold tight. Coming back at 7:08. Coming up, another Hunter Biden associate is going to be testifying, this time behind closed doors today, up on Capitol Hill. We'll talk about that with Ryan Schmelz. And Hobica's free money question of the day is just around the corner. Big one today. Mondays we start out with $100.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow will be 2, 3. So you want to take a shot. I mean, it's a C note. You could walk away with $100. Here's your chance this morning. We'll do it at 7:35, coming up at WIBX.
Mike Carl's, we have deals and we have steals. How about a 12.5-inch queen hybrid mattress with 2 pillows? Was $7.99, now just $3.99. Now that's a steal, only at Mike Carl's.
Hun, we need to stop putting off getting life insurance.
I know. It's just been so busy, and I'm sure the cost is out of our budget.
Well, Jen told me that they got a $500,000 term life insurance policy from Ethos for less than $23 a month. All online with no complicated forms and no medical exam. All they had to do was answer a few health questions.
Wait, no medical exam and all online?
I know, right? It's not easy to think about, but if something happened to you, James and I would be...
Okay, I get it. Let's get a quote from Ethos right now. Wow, you were right. There's no medical exam. And Ethos makes the whole online process fast and easy. And look at these rates and coverage options. It's great protection and totally fits our budget.
Ethos. They've removed all the barriers from getting coverage. Go to checkethos.com to get your free online quote. That's checkethos.com. Quote based on a healthy, non-smoking 30-year-old male with a 20-year term policy. Rates may vary.
Here's something you've never heard before.
Stop. This is Simply Safe.
Introducing 24/7 lifeguard protection, only from Simply Safe Home Security. Now, monitoring agents can see and speak to intruders through our new indoor camera to help stop crime in real time and for fast police response. Get 20% off any new system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplysafe.com/radio. Advanced Home Security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Attention business owners. Was your company impacted during COVID? If you had W-2 employees during 2020 and 2021, you may be entitled for up to $26,000 per employee through the Employee Retention Credit Program. This is not a loan. The IRS paid back billions already. We've helped thousands of businesses just like yours. So let us help you. At ERC Business Solutions, we make it simple. We do it all for you, so you won't have to worry about the complex application process. There's absolutely no risk. If you don't get paid, we don't get paid. Most businesses do qualify, even those with no decline in revenues or those that already got PPP. Discover how much you can claim. There's no cost or obligation. Call now, 800-281-9981. That's 800-281-9981. Get up to $26,000 per employee. Call 800-281-9981. 800-281-9981.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
You know, this weekend is the Stampede Rodeo and Expo.
Yes.
That'll happen, what is that? So the 4th would be 1, 2, 3. So is it Friday and Saturday?
I believe so.
That is going to be happening at the Odd. There's still tickets available to take advantage of there. And this is this is so rare for something like this to occur around here, right?
The rodeo?
Since the last time it was here.
Right.
But it's unique. And it's amazing how they're able to bring all of that dirt into the auditorium.
I know. I almost am shocked because I saw them a year or two ago when they were getting it ready. I'm shocked they allow all that dirt to come in.
Well, what's amazing is that it's cleaned up, so amazingly cleaned up. Every speck of dirt is gone when they leave.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming every speck of dung. Because those,
and that's what was my thought too.
Yeah, there's a lot of defecation going on there.
Yeah, they don't have private restrooms for the animals.
They don't. So, but that happens this weekend, and I believe we have a bull in right. I think we have a bull. I don't know what I'll find out what our name is. Ours is, but the idea is that our bull will win the whole thing.
Oh, okay,
I believe.
All right.
So that's the goal. But it's a cool experience. If you want to check it out, it'll be happening this weekend. Details at the Odds website, which you can check out over the weekend. Also, I want to talk about a Marine Corps Lance Corporal Sean Willey is from the Valley. Disappeared a year ago on the trails of the Appalachian Mountains in North Carolina. Since then, members of the Clay Mountain Sheriff's Office in North Carolina made it their mission to find his remains and get him home. His remains were found in June and were transported to Ilion, where the young Marine was remembered over the weekend before being laid to rest. So they had a procession where his remains were brought in to the Valley over the weekend. That happened on Saturday night. A custom vault for Willie's remains was constructed and donated by the Marine Corps League detachment down in Ilion. A footlocker was constructed to transport his personal effects home with him, and that happened on Saturday night in the village of Ilion.
Now, did they say the cause of death? What happened?
I don't know. There's some information out there, but I don't know what the cause of death was.
Okay.
But I don't believe the family could afford to bring his remains home. Everybody got together and made that happen. So it turned out it is the right thing to do. Right, the right thing was done, and everybody gathered together to get his remains home. Very sad ending to a story, but received the attention that he should have received. I believe. Is that Ryan? Is he able to hear me?
He can't hear you.
He can't even hear me in there. It's a radio station. That booth is so soundproof, he can't hear us in there. Scares me a little bit. There is a testimony that's going to be expected coming up where another Hunter Biden associate is going to be testifying. In this case, it'll be behind closed doors. Ryan Schmelz from Fox News Radio on the line right now to give us the details. Ryan, good morning.
Hey, good morning. How y'all doing?
Good. So what do we know about this? Another Biden associate. What do we...
Right. So,
yeah.
So this person's name is Devin Archer. He's Hunter Biden's friend and a fellow Burisma board member, and he also helped him co-found the investment and advisory firm Rosemont Seneca Partners, which, based off reporting we understand, was the first vehicle, really, that they had for many of Hunter Biden's overseas business endeavors. So this is certainly somebody who has a lot of ties to Hunter Biden's business background, so certainly serves as a key witness for the Oversight Committee to interview.
So is this someone who's going to be a friendly witness to Hunter Biden? Or
That's kind of hard to know, right? I think one thing that's happened over the last couple of hours is you have the Department of Justice asking this person, Devin Archer, to report to prison to serve out a 1-year prison sentence for something that's unrelated to Hunter Biden, but certainly is a concerning charge. 2 felony charges for a role in a conspiracy to defraud a Native American tribe. But ultimately, his lawyers have said that they're going to still follow through with this interview and talk to the Oversight Committee, and have been alleging, witness intimidation by the DOJ in many ways.
Yeah, interesting. And the big question out of this is, I feel, was President Biden, then Vice President Biden, present during any of this? Was money funneled to the vice president at the time? That's really the biggest question of all, right?
Right, and whether or not they can get that answer from Devin Archer, if he's able to lead them down that direction, still remains to be seen. They have quite a substantial burden of proof here. But based off of some of the reporting we've seen is that Archer is expected to testify that Hunter Biden would introduce his father, who is then Vice President Joe Biden, to foreign business partners or possible investors during meetings, and also put them on the line during a lot of these calls. Now, whether or not that leads to anything illegal, remains to be seen. But certainly when you have President Biden denying ever talking to his son about his business endeavors, certainly this information, contradicts that in many ways.
Okay. This will be very interesting. And this one, will be behind closed doors, right?
Yes, this will be behind closed doors. What's fascinating about this is that Congress is actually out of session right now, so that the Capitol is going to be relatively empty compared to what it was last week. So it looks like the Oversight Committee is likely going to be getting all the attention today from a lot of the news outlets here in D.C., which is, in many ways, seems to be what they want sometimes.
Okay.
And what is the reason that it's behind closed doors?
It's something that they oftentimes do, is that they interview these witnesses first behind closed doors, and if they, want to pursue anything further after that, they can. Congress is out of session right now, so they're not having any hearings that are public, I believe. So, down the road, could Devin Archer be testifying before Congress in a public setting? I think that's still a possibility.
Okay. All right. Very interesting. We'll see what happens. Ryan Schmelz, we appreciate the time. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Have a great day. Ryan Schmelz from Fox News Radio. Sooner or later, you gotta come up with the evidence, or else, right?
Right.
I mean, this has been going on for quite some time, and you would think that if there's evidence out there, let's get it, and let's get the damning evidence if it exists, and that would be a complete that would actually give. If they can come up with the evidence, that would give their efforts, impeachment efforts, some teeth, right?
Yeah. Somebody suggested to me that they were dragging their feet on the Joe Biden evidence because if he got into real trouble, then VP Harris would take over.
Think that's the
no, I don't. That's what somebody expressed to me. I don't think I buy into that. I think if they had the evidence, they would put it out there as quick as they could.
I think they would.
Unfortunately.
Okay, so there is a story right now. Who do you think is the leading contender in the race for mayor in Utica right now?
Okay, I think it is right now Mike Galimi.
And I hear a lot of people that feel like Celeste Friend has a real shot at this thing, and feel like this is a horse race too close to call.
So,
and you have Cardillo still in the mix too. As long as he stays in the race, that could ultimately, in some way, hurt Galimi.
Yeah, no question about it. I have heard from folks, and it's funny because Lance was one of the most outspoken people in this regard, where he said, you know what, I kind of like Celeste, and I think I could support her. And then it was the Genesee Street issue where he said she showed her true colors.
Yeah.
She's very liberal, and I don't think that it's appropriate for her to run the city. Again, that's just one person's opinion, but I've heard that where it was like, I'm willing to give her a chance, but then, boy, the way the whole Genesee Street thing was handled, people are kind of disgusted with it.
I find it's the argument of liberal versus not liberal, or she's way too liberal, is just a bad argument because it means nothing in terms of a mayor being a mayor, right?
Yeah.
Show me where liberal politics or conservative politics or moderate politics come into play for a mayor. There's really no place. It's not like you're going to be dealing with those big cultural issues that occur if you're in national politics. But being liberal or being conservative is really kind of your national politics very irrelevant when it comes to running a city.
Absolutely.
So
how you feel about national issues, yes, but here's another term I hear people use when they refer to Celeste. They say very progressive. So,
but even that, I mean, I guess you could say complete streets is a progressive issue, right?
That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
I guess, but it's being done all over the country. We're not the only ones arguing about it because you do hear people arguing about it in other cities. But for the most part, this is being done all over the country and all over the world, creating these green spaces, creating walkability. I think the way it was laid out in Utica was terrible. Whether you're for it or against it, they said they talked to business owners. Business owners say no one ever spoke to us. And, sometimes Katie Aiello felt that the videos that she was putting out was an example of her communicating with business owners. But most of those business owners didn't even know where those videos were, didn't know anything about those videos. So I guess you could argue that, but it's irrelevant. I do think it could be very, very close. So here's why I'm bringing this up. Word is that there is I was informed of this yesterday. Word is there might be a new candidate getting into the race.
What?
For mayor. And this person told me yesterday that there's a very good chance that there will be a very active campaign to write in a person's name. Feeling that the race is so close in Utica that there's the possibility of a write-in campaign.
Okay, well, stop the suspense. Who is it?
He would not tell me who it is.
You know who I think it is.
But I was told that we will find out very soon.
I think there's the campaign is to write in Rob Palmieri.
You think that could be? Well, I think he's been termed out. He can't. I also found it very interesting. There's a lot of talk on the street that the mayor might have located his next job.
Oh, really?
So we'll have to find out what he has to say if we could ever get him in studio.
Hold on. Okay, here we go. Here's a comment. Celeste has already vowed to make all police and fire vehicles electric. Pretty liberal, if you ask me.
I don't know anything about that, but that I guess would be progressive. That would be considered very progressive, and I don't know how she would be able to pull that off. How could she do that?
Well, if you get in early.
Where are you going to get the money from? Where are you going to get the charging stations from? Do you know what an electric fire truck is going to cost? I mean, that would just be out of this world. And I'd like to hear what she says about that. I've not heard her claim that that's going to be the case.
Two thoughts. One is that Celeste is going to be on the program this week, and she wants to come on and, as in her words, address the things that people say about her being so progressive, things that she says are not true.
Well, again, I've never heard her come on the radio and say, I'm going to make all... I mean, ultimately, they all will be, right? Ultimately, we'll get there. Ultimately, all school buses will be electric. Everything will ultimately be electric, but I don't think that's going to be coming from your cities. And I also don't think it's going to be coming at the timeline that the governor claims. So I think they're way off on their timeline because the technology doesn't exist yet for us to be able to to pull something like that off.
You know, you talk about the technology and the cost associated with this, but I believe, and we've seen this in many different forms, if you're one of the first people in and you're willing to take that risk, it's more likely that the state or the federal government or some program will throw money at you to fund it and then, build off the successes that come with it. Now, I agree. I don't know that we're completely there yet. And to have a whole fleet of all those police cars being electric, I don't know.
I don't see it.
I don't see it either. But
and I don't see it being feasible. I don't see the governor's plan being even close to feasible. But that's what they're trying to push forward. This whole gas stove thing, not feasible. None of this stuff is there right yet. I don't know where they think they're going to be able to, how they're going to pull it off. Nonetheless, don't get me wrong. I don't. People are like arguing back with me about the liberal versus conservative issue. I just don't feel that plays a big role in a running a city. A lot of times those policies, whether they be liberal or conservative policies, are handed down to the cities through mandates from the state or from the federal government. But don't make it seem as if I'm defending her or throwing my hat in the race for I have no horse in the race. I'm just saying I think she has surprised a lot of people, and she certainly did in the primary, right? I think she's a viable candidate, and if I were Galimi, I would be, and I'm sure he is, absolutely worried about her as a candidate, especially in a city where there are more Democrats than moderates and Republicans. And the problem you have with a Celeste Friend is, just my opinion, she knows how to get a vote out. She knows how to get people to vote that have never voted before. I think she's a viable candidate. Now, does that mean the race is going to be really close? All I'm telling you is I was told there may be a fourth person jumping in, and it would be a write-in campaign. Very interesting. Here's Jack in Rome, who knows more about Utica than Rome, at least in this phone call. Hi, Jack. What do you know?
I don't know that, Bill.
Okay, I was just throwing it out there. I mean, I'm trying to play you off as an expert. Come on, let's run with it.
If we're going to throw all these electric fire trucks, electric police cars out, let's remember one thing. If you're at a fire call, you're there sitting at a call for like 4 or 5 hours at a structure fire. Yep. And that truck's running all that time, pumping the water, lights on, stuff on, radio on. Come on now. I mean, they got to put this stuff to a test before they put them out.
First of all, this is just someone who messaged Jeff and said she's claiming that she's going to turn all the police cars and the fire trucks into electric.
Even the police cars. When you see a police car, they're always kept running.
But my point is,
they never shut the vehicle off.
That is true. But my point is, we have not heard that from Celeste. And before we say that that's what her mission is going to be as mayor, I would think we would want to hear that from her first.
Right. Yeah. But I'm just saying.
I think you're absolutely right. You can't listen. We're not even able to figure out. I mean, if you ask any expert about the school bus issue, what is it? 2035 is what they're claiming, that all the buses need to be electric. I don't see us being there. I don't know how we would get there. Yeah. Without an improvement to the technology, number one, and without an improvement to the infrastructure, a major improvement to the infrastructure. And, what are these rural districts going to do? Think about when you look out at a school like Holland Patton or Adirondack. Their routes are very, very rural, and they're traveling all over the place. I just don't. Yes. Now, adding a few to the fleet, I think you're going to start seeing that happen. I think you will start to see certain school districts begin to add 1 or 2 electric buses, but those will be, I would assume, will be used very strategically.
They're going to have to test this stuff out because I don't see. As far as a fire truck and police car, I don't see it happening.
I think the governor is really big on trying to be the first, right? The first with everything. Let's beat California to craziness. And I just think this stuff is thrown out there without any backing whatsoever. If you talk to even the experts who actually provide the grids, if you talk to the car companies and the companies who actually make buses, if you talk to National Grid, they'll all tell you the same thing. We could never meet that deadline because we don't have the infrastructure. So how does it get done? Well, it gets done in their fantasy political world. It's all politics. That's just my take.
Agree.
Yeah. All right.
I agree with you, Bill.
Thank you, Jack. You and I, we agree. We just agree. I like it.
And can I just say the comment on Celeste and the
Jack, have a great day. Thank you, man.
Police and fire vehicles came from a high-ranking city of Utica official who is Democrat. I think you know who I mean.
I know exactly. Is he Democrat, though? I always say that. Are you really a Democrat? In this day and age. Listen, Bill, I'll say this. I just want to hear that from her. If that's what she says, then I think it is a great place for people to hang their hat on who they're going to vote for, a great issue. But I'd like to hear that from her.
Can I give you another example? And again, this did not come from Celeste, but I think this is an example of something that could, a city's policy could be influenced by their national politics, and that being the situation with the migrants that they want to relocate upstate.
I guess you're right.
Celeste said on the program that she didn't think the county executive had the authority to tell people who can come and who cannot come and do business in Oneida County.
Well, I'm going to say this, and it's not something I say often, but you have proven me wrong.
Oh, okay.
You're right. There are issues that I didn't think about that normally don't happen, but have in the last few years. And you're right. Turning this into a sanctuary city. I guess through executive order, a mayor could do that. I don't know for sure. Depends on what the city charter says, but I stand corrected.
Well, thank you, Bill. I was totally prepared for an insult. So
I have none in me. I don't have anything there. But you've given some good examples of what a mayor's politics, what that could result in. So
we'll talk to Celeste later this week.
I stand corrected. I'd still like to hear it from her.
Yes.
I think that's fair. We're doing our free money question of the day. Ben is filling in for Davey, who's off, praying that this is going to be a wonderful Buffalo Bills season. Ben, can you hear me?
Not necessarily.
Well, then you wouldn't be able to answer if you couldn't hear me.
Are you doing free money?
Yeah, we're going to do the free money question, okay? See, he's getting the delay.
Yeah, he's on a delay, but he just knows if you're looking at him and he sees your mouth moving, he assumes it's directed at him.
It is funny, though. I said, can you hear me? And he said, not necessarily. I mean, come on. Okay, we're doing it next. What caller number do you want to go with?
6.
6 caller through the phone lines. The only way he can hear me is down the hallway. That's why I'm yelling so loudly. He doesn't have a monitor in there. All right, we're looking for caller number 6. It'll be $100 this morning. Maybe that means the question will be a little easier. I highly doubt that. These are picked for the most part randomly. However, every once in a while, we'll get down the road of what's in the news. And I think that's where we'll go today. So it'll be worth $100. And the question is from the category, It's in the News. 6th caller right now. Chance for you to win from Hopica and WIBX. 315-736-0186. Call right now for your chance to win cash from WIBX and Hopica.
It's your turn to stay and play at Turning Stone Resort Casino. Enjoy award-winning hotels, dining, and live entertainment. Play the newest slots and classic table games. Check out the state's largest poker room. And don't miss our world-famous bingo hall. Turning Stone is the perfect gaming getaway. And the next big winner might be you. Turning Stone Resort Casino. It's your turn.
Do you feel like your current checking account just isn't working for you anymore? Maybe monthly fees are cutting into your already tight budget. Or maybe you're looking for more convenience with additional bells and whistles that allow you to accomplish more with less work. Whatever your reason, it might be a great time for you to check out the lineup of accounts at Adirondack Bank. From no-frills basic accounts to paperless high-yield accounts, we're sure to have the perfect solution for your needs. We also offer a large selection of extras such as customizable debit cards, electronic statements, online banking and bill pay, mobile banking, and mobile deposit. We also have a great client services team ready to answer your questions with our live chat. Visit our website at www.adkbank.com. Use the checking comparison tool and see which options are best for you. That's adkbank.com. Member FDIC.
Need a bed? Get a giant 85-inch flat screen TV or a beautiful Weber stainless steel grill at Mattress Express's grand opening of their newest superstore, New Hartford, Commercial Drive 4488, next to Pet Supplies Plus. Stop in, open 7 days a week.
Let's face it, talking about life insurance is never easy. But after we watched a close friend lose her husband with no insurance, we decided that wasn't going to happen to our family.
Yeah, but shopping for life insurance can be almost as difficult as talking about it.
But then we heard about Ethos Life Insurance. They're a new kind of life insurance, built for people on a busy schedule who don't have time for unnecessary doctor's visits, fine print, or hidden fees. You know, who want to keep it simple.
I couldn't believe how easy it was. We answered a few basic questions, and within minutes, we had an estimate of what it would cost and what sort of policy made sense for us.
I never imagined a life insurance could be so affordable.
And accessible.
The peace of mind knowing that our future is secure, it just removes a lot of the fear around getting older and...
Yeah, the unexpected.
I'm glad we talked about it.
I'm glad we went with ethoslife.com.
Go to getethos.com now for your free estimate. That's getethos.com. Getethos.com.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, every day this week we're going to watch the jackpot here as we end July. The jackpot grow for Hobica's free money question of the day. And it starts at $100 on Monday, working our way all the way to $500 for the end of the week. And on the line right now is Tim. And let me go to Tim now. Hi, Tim in New York Mills. Good morning.
Morning, Bill.
You ready to go?
Yes, sir.
All right, the category is in the news. The category is in the news. All right, Manaski, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, here is the question. Snoop Hogg, not Snoop Dogg, is in the news for winning this coveted award. Ready, go.
No idea.
It is front page today, just below the fold in the Rome Sentinel. Anybody want to guess? Snoop Hogg.
Is it
not Snoop Dogg?
Was it a pig race at the Boonville, Oneida County Fair?
It is the Boonville, Oneida County Fair. He is the supreme champion of the Boonville, Oneida County Fair Hog Show.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
I was just, on a chance, I was thinking maybe you read the Sentinel this morning. And
I'll get it about twice a week.
All right. Okay. All right. Well, it should have been today. That's the deal, Tim.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right. We're going to give you we'll give you the all-in-one food and fun card from the people who bring you the Utica Comets, along with Aquavino, Babes, 72 Tavern and Grill, Taylor and the Cook, and any of the concession stands at Nexus and the Adirondack Bank Center. It's a $25 gift card. Stand by. Ben is going to take care of you. Okay, Tim?
All right, thank you, Bill. Nice show.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And stand by. Ben, take special care. Ben! He can't hear us. Tim's ready for you. This is old school. In the old days before radio, they used to yell down the hallway. That's how we communicated. In the news today.
Sorry. As a follow-up to the electric vehicle situation with the buses. I just found this online, and it comes from empirecenter.org. And let me just go back and double check so I can properly credit it. It's the Empire Center for Public Policy. This is a public policy institute. It talks about the new law requiring the state school bus fleet to be entirely zero emission by the year 2035. Quote, replacing...
We're never going to get there. We're never going to be there. I mean, we'll get there someday, but we're not there by 2035. I don't see it.
Replacing all of the state's diesel fuel school buses with electric buses will cost between, now, hear this right, 8 and 15 billion more than if you replaced all of them with new
Buses
diesel.
are already incredibly expensive.
Yes.
And I think that a bus would be almost 3 times more electric
and it
as
says,
of right now. And that will change as time goes on, but we're just not there yet.
Of that projected price tag, there's less than $800 million, or less than 10% of the total projected cost available in state and federal resources.
Coming up, we have some comments, too, on the Utica mayor's race and a third or a fourth candidate getting in. You already have a third-party candidate. Is there a chance that a fourth candidate coming in would be more liberal and Democrat, which may offset what Bob Cardillo is doing? And by the way, Cardillo is on the conservative line. Thank you, Ben. He's on the conservative line. What does the Conservative Party think about him staying in the race? And we'll speak with. I've spoken with a conservative about that this morning, and I want to give you the scoop of what I've gotten. TikTok. A lot of people all over TikTok. You learn a lot of things. You laugh. You share your secrets with the Chinese.
You risk
all of
your
these
life.
Great things. But sometimes these fads come along. Would we call them a fad? Things that go viral. And people started doing it. Remember, it may have been Facebook, where kids were jumping on the Tide Pod craze 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah,
right. That was crazy. They were eating them, but they really weren't, because it would kill you. Have you ever heard of a beer tan? The beer tan craze going viral.
Some claim it's the best tan they've ever gotten.
Going viral on TikTok, and here to explain all of that is Deandra Simmons, who is a skincare expert and CEO, founder of Heart Night Good Morning. I love it. And she's on the line now. Good morning.
Hi, Bill. How are you this morning?
Good. So, first of all, what is this thing going viral called the beer tan? What is it?
Well, basically, it's people just deciding that they're going to shower themselves or bathe themselves in beer, and it's going to give them a nice, beautiful, glowing tan. And there are so many things wrong with this trend on TikTok, just like the Tide Pod that you mentioned before, which was disastrous for so many people. Not only is this not protecting your skin against the sun's UVA and UVB rays, but they're probably also drinking the beer at the same time and losing track of time and then ending up sunburned and just a host of other things. Now, conversely, believe it or not, I went to naturopathic doctor's school, and beer has a lot of elements that are good for your skin if you're not staying out in the sun for long periods of time.
I did not know that. Okay.
Yeah, hops. Hops is great anti-inflammatory. So is yeast.
Really?
Brewer's yeast in particular, very good for the skin. However, going out in the sun without any SPF and just applying beer is only going to increase your chances of burning. And like I said, there's a host of other things that people aren't considering.
You know, I've noticed whenever Fred Matt comes in, he always has for a guy, he has some really good skin.
Right.
Right? I mean,
I
it's
agree.
got to be. He owns a brewery, you see. He owns a brewery, and
he looks young.
He's a young-looking guy. That's a good thing. So your suggestion, number one, is if they're drinking the beer, that is a thing where you've got whatever alcohol you're drinking, you probably don't feel the sun like you normally would. You don't make good judgment like you normally would. There is your problem right off the bat. But I would think that alcohol and the sun probably wouldn't go well together in the first place, and in terms of topical on your skin.
Well, it's going to dry out your skin, number one. Number two, think about the smell is going to attract bees, insects, all kinds of things that you don't want attracted to your skin.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. Plus, I mean, Actually, I was outside yesterday. It's very hot in Texas. And even though I own a skincare company, I do go in my pool, but I'm very judicious about applying sunscreen.
Okay.
So I put some beer on, and I thought, well, let's see what this smells like. The smell to me was awful. It's very off-putting. You smell like a frat house. So I don't know if that's attractive or not. I mean, I don't know if you're trying to attract people. It's not going to work as a dating element, I don't think. But there are things like vitamin A, increasing your intake of vitamin A that can help you get a better tan.
Okay.
Beer and
Is that
hops,
right?
You can drink beer and it's not unhealthy. I mean, there's a lot of women that are pregnant that drink beer because it increases, or not pregnant, but after you have a baby, it increases milk production just a little bit. You're not talking about, going crazy and hog wild with these things.
What do you
also?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, you go ahead, and then I'll ask one more question.
There's some other different things that you can take, some different vitamins. I used to live in France, and there's a vitamin called Oniobiol that you can get online that will actually increase make your tan last longer.
Okay.
It'll give you a better tan, and it will also help protect you with antioxidants
That's
against
very
the
interesting.
sun.
Wow.
When you say, was it vitamin A, that it gives you a better tan,
Yes.
what do you mean by a better tan? It makes it darker?
It basically increases the melanin in your skin, which is what makes you tan. So vitamin A is one of the things, but you got to be careful with not taking too much vitamin A because you can get toxic with too many vitamins. Too much of a good thing is too much, basically. Yeah. So you can go overboard with anything. But vitamin A is very good for the skin as long as you are monitoring it. Foods rich in lycopene, which is like tomato sauce, for instance, tomatoes that are cooked, they also are very protective for the skin, but also help you get a better tan and less burning. So increasing antioxidants, increasing foods in vitamin A, increasing foods with copper, such as like crab, has a lot of copper, liver, almonds, white mushrooms. You can look all these up on the internet and find them, but those are things that can really help you as well.
But beer, it's probably not, this beer tan thing is not the way to go. Yeah.
I would not, if you're going to use beer on your skin, which is fine, do not use it in the sun.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to mix it with sunscreen, but people are not doing that. They're just thinking, I think they're thinking the color is going to give them a golden tan. And they're going to get home and they're going to have a nice sunburn.
And then
look at Bob. He looks like a Miller Lite over there. Look at him.
What do you put on? What do you say? Somehow he's become yellow. I don't understand it. What do you suggest?
You're gonna look like a carrot too, maybe.
Right. What do you suggest for people? Should they put on their suntan or on their burn if they get burned? What's the best thing that you feel as a skin expert? What's the best thing to put on a sunburn?
Well, I own a skincare company, and all my products are made with aloe vera. I still believe in aloe vera as being the best thing. But what I do a lot, and I also do this with people that have come to me with cystic acne or their kids have acne, going and buying, like in Texas, there's, we're so close to Mexico, you can buy big aloe leaves, just cutting them open. It's better than the kind you buy at the store that's already kind of pre-made for you.
Yeah.
So if you can get a natural big aloe leaf and put that on, that's very good. There's also something called Khus extract, Khus extract, that comes from Africa. You can find it in different formulations. That helps malachite, which is also, you can get different formulations of malachite. It's hydrated copper carbonate. That's also great for your skin. There's a lot of, like I said, antioxidants, anti-inflammatory. Arnica montana, which is great for bruising and swelling, also will help with stimulation. Shea butter, also wonderful. Argan oil will help. There's a lot of different things you can use.
I want to tell you that the two things quickly, and then we'll let you go. But two things that when I was a kid, I used to burn pretty badly, and we were out at a beach, and the camp next to us, we were camping, and the camper next to us said, "I know exactly what to put on it." Noxzema. So put Noxzema all over my back where I was burned, and I'm going to tell you, it hurt more after putting the Noxzema on. Do you agree?
It's funny you said that because when I grew up, that's the same thing. I'm 54 years old.
Yep.
So, yes, they used to put Noxzema, and it burned like fire.
It burned like fire. But then they started arguing, and the campsite on the other side said, no, pure vinegar. Put vinegar on it. And I smell like so bad. You talk about the beer. Imagine I have Noxzema and vinegar all over my back. No one wanted to get near me. In fact, it did
Do you
work
remember
as
when
a.
you would get burned and they would put you in the vinegar bath?
Yes.
That used to happen to me too.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about. They put vinegar in a cold water and
Yep.
vinegar. I remember my dad did that because I spilled something and I had a second-degree burn on my leg, so
okay.
I went right into the vinegar. So yeah, there's also one more thing that's natural if people want to use something natural, and I use it in my skincare products. It's called red raspberry seed oil.
Okay.
You can buy it literally on Amazon, mix it in. It gives you an extra protection of like 28 to 50, and it's a natural protection.
Wow, that's really cool. Okay, good stuff.
Yeah.
We've learned a lot here
Thank you,
today.
Bill. I appreciate your time today.
Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Bye-bye
Okay,
now.
you too.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Red
Well, that
raspberry
went somewhere. I'm going to tell you something.
seed oil.
The Noxzema vinegar mixture.
Yeah.
You would think, wow, nobody wants to get near you. You got a terrible sunburn, and probably even the mosquitoes didn't want to get near you. Wrong. It was an attractant to the mosquitoes. I swear to God, I would walk around and there'd be mosquitoes and like hovering over top of me. It was like a meal for them.
Yeah.
Noxzema and vinegar. Oh, the smell was so bad.
So I
Gave me nothing. No help whatsoever.
I just looked up the this stuff can be expensive, especially because they sell it in like a gallon container. It's $225.
Wow.
For the red raspberry seed oil. It says our organic raspberry seed oil has a light aroma that is faintly earthy and sweet. It's a dry oil and quickly absorbs into the skin, leaving behind softness. Now, another Google search comes up. The oil works by creating a lipid barrier that stops skin from losing natural moisture. Retaining moisture helps keep skin cells looking young and full. Raspberry oil can be used as a base for makeup applications. It adds hydration, sun protection, and nourishing vitamins.
It's long, whatever the berries are. It's so the smaller blackberries, the blackberries were out about a month ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. But now the longer ones, the long caps or whatever they call them, those are ripe now. I just saw a whole bunch of those in our backyard, which, by the way, attract bears and deer. Just in case you're wondering.
Good luck with that.
And then I wanted to just quickly, before we break, come back to some comments on the mayor's race. Wayne saying, this is the mayor's race in Utica. Wayne saying, I'm leaning towards Celeste because she has more passion than just the political side. I'm just telling you, I'm hearing a lot of people that are that I wouldn't expect that really like Celeste Friend as mayor. That's why I'm leaning in the direction that number one, she's able to get her vote out. She does a great job of getting people out to vote who didn't vote, who haven't voted before, and her performance showed during the primary. So I think she has a shot. I think it's interesting. And then we're hearing maybe a fourth candidate coming in. So the third candidate in. So Galimi wins significantly wins the Republican primary.
Okay.
Celeste Friend wins the Democratic primary. Her opponent is not going to be in the race. DeBrango is not on another line. He's out. On the other hand, Bob Cardillo, who lost significantly to Mike Galimi, is staying in the race. And speaking to a conservative over the weekend, I spoke to a lot of people over the weekend. We were out watching the band Classified, Greeley Ford, and that was pretty awesome. Harpoon Eddies was jam-packed. So was Sylvan Beach yesterday because of the Corvettes. It was Vet Day or whatever they call it.
I actually saw a couple Corvettes that were coming back from Rome.
Beautiful Corvettes. It was unbelievable. They were all over the place. It was beautiful. Anyway, I heard from a conservative who said they urged Mr. Cardillo to get out of the race. So the whole thing is I owe it, and Bob said on the air, I owe it to the conservatives. They put me on the line. I owe it to them to stay in the race and run as a conservative. Not according to the conservatives that I spoke to, or the conservative that I spoke to yesterday. And I'm told it went all the way up to the top where the head of the Conservative Party in New York State asked if he would get out of the race. And the answer was no, despite their urging.
A couple of comments.
That's what this person told me. Well, again, fair would be to talk to Bob and see his version of that story.
Yes, I will invite Bob on the program as well. Lance says, Jeff, regarding the Utica election, because I do own 2 Utica rental properties, it's still a toss-up to me because I don't believe Mike Galimi has what it takes to stand up to Tony Picenti when needed. Just like other items when I have called the shop, I think Mr. DeFranco is going to come out and support Galimi. Now, that's the conservative guy, I assume, DeFranco?
That might be the name that I heard yesterday.
All right. He also followed up to say, and I think Genesee Street and the back taxes, along with her own party not supporting her, will doom Celeste. And I just also want to say, I think Celeste has been great.
That tax thing came out before the primary, didn't it? It did.
I believe it did.
Yeah. And basically she said, I didn't realize they weren't paid. They used to be in escrow, but no longer do I have a house loan. So it's the taxes are no longer in escrow as part of the payment. So I just didn't realize they weren't paid. That was her answer. I talked to plenty of people. There were those who bought that, and there were those who did not. But that came before the primary, and she still won.
So, and, I think Celeste does a great job coming on and speaking for herself and explaining her positions on things. But I don't know that in the primary, Mr. DeBrango, I don't think, did himself any favors by not doing interviews on programs like this.
Yeah, he did not campaign.
Correct. And I think that really hurt him because she is out there and she is on social media. And as you say, she does have a following. I'm not sure this DeFranco, I think he means DeBrango maybe. Mr. DeBrango is going to come out and support Galimi. And I want to say
DeBrango's what he meant.
That I might have heard that there might be some Democrats who publicly support Galimi. But to my knowledge, it has not happened yet.
Okay, interesting stuff. Want to tell you about River Hills Properties, and it was, 15 years ago. I sat down with them, and this was just as they were getting started, and it was just Bill and Robin. Today, they have over 30 listing agents working with them throughout all of upstate New York. But they were unknown, relatively unknown back then. And I remember their vision, and it was to build a real estate company that offered services that other real estate companies in the area did not offer. And that's how they built their business. And today, they're the number 1 independent real estate agency in all of upstate New York. And they're number 2 among everybody else, including the chains and all of that. Number 2 there. This from zero about 15 years ago. Pretty amazing. And it is all about the services that they provide, all about the extra things they do, all about the fact that when your house is shown, your listing agent is there. It's not going to be a situation where another agent is going to be walking a family through your home when no one is there on your side. Having somebody keep track of the property, making sure the lights are on, your best foot is put forward, and that's what they do at River Hills. There's also the book, 40 to 100 pages filled with details about the house. Every real estate agent gets a commission when your house is sold. Why not make sure they're really, really working for it? That's the River Hills way. In Barneville, Little Falls, Utica, and serving all of upstate New York, River Hills Properties. Nobody sells homes like River Hills.
Can I just tell you, stay tuned coming up. I have a message here of a well-known Democrat in the city of Utica who apparently is openly supporting Mike Galimi. And I'll share that after the break.
All right. We'll do it all coming up. Next hour, also, we are going to be talking a little Tesla, the latest on President Trump. And there's a campaign happening locally that I think is an awesome campaign. Back-to-school supplies that include sneakers. And we'll talk about that coming up.
Hold up, you're using Swiffer Power Mop? What would Mom say?
Oh, she'd be like, a mopping bucket is the only way to deep clean your floors. And I'd be like, Mom, this is the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one that gets you a mop and bucket clean in half the time.
She'd never believe you.
I'd say, look, the solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket. And the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get into grout lines. That's why you're the smart one.
Really?
What? Mom said it.
The new Swiffer Power Mop. Don't mop harder, mop smarter. Here's something you've never heard before.
Stop. This is Simply Safe.
Introducing 24/7 Lifeguard Protection, only from Simply Safe Home Security. Now, monitoring agents can see and speak to intruders through our new indoor camera to help stop crime in real time and for fast police response. Get 20% off any new system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplysafe.com/radio. Advanced home security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX 950 Utica Rome, W295DI Utica Rome, your news, talk, and sports leader, a Town Square media station.
He's a witness House Republicans have tried to question for a while. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, as they keep probing Hunter Biden and his father.
This president is indeed compromised, and it further leads me to believe that there will be an impeachment inquiry before the next election.
That's what Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna told Fox as Devin Archer gets ready today to talk to the House Oversight Committee in private. He's a friend of Hunter Biden's, who is also on the board of the Burisma Ukrainian energy company.
The New York Post reports Archer is expected to testify that Hunter Biden would introduce his father, then Vice President Joe Biden, to foreign business partners or possible investors during meetings. The Oversight Committee has been investigating the Biden family to determine if the president was ever paid by a foreign national in exchange for policy decisions while he was vice president.
That's Fox's Ryan Schmelz. President Biden has said he never spoke to his son about his business dealings. Carlos de Oliveira goes to federal court today in Miami. He's the property manager of the Trump Florida resort, now caught up in the classified documents case.
The allegation that the former president asked that a Mar-a-Lago staffer erase surveillance footage relating to classified documents he possessed brought the new charge.
As Fox's Gernal Scott, de Oliveira is charged with conspiracy to obstruct and lying to investigators. The former president's already pleaded not guilty and claims he's a political target, calling it election interference. Russia has bombed another apartment building in its war on Ukraine in the city of Kryvyi Rih, President Zelensky's hometown. At least one person's dead, others feared trapped in the rubble. It's up to at least 54 people dead in Pakistan after a suicide bombing targeting a political rally. A shipper has stopped shipping.
One of the nation's oldest and biggest trucking businesses, Yellow, has notified customers and employees that it is ceasing all operations.
That's Fox's Jenny Casola. Yellow was in financial trouble and in a contract dispute with the Teamsters. America's listening to Fox News.
Russian officials recently revealed a new global supercurrency backed by physical gold will be announced on August 22nd with support from China, India, and other countries. Many economists warn this could radically change the world economy and possibly destroy the value of the dollar. And that means the value of your 401k or IRA is at risk. Hi. Stephen K. Bannon, I want to urge you to protect yourself and your family right now. How? By diversifying your 401k or IRA into physical gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. To see how it works, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word PROTECT to 989898. August 22nd will be here before you know it, so take action today. Fortify your nest egg using the power of gold inside of a tax advantage account. Text PROTECT to the number 989898. That's PROTECT to 989898 to get your free information kit on gold IRAs right now.
We have cloudy skies, and we are at 59 degrees. WIBX News time is 8:03. This news update brought to you by Cliff's Local Market. They keep you going. New Hartford police are looking for information and possible witnesses in connection with a car pedestrian accident that happened over the weekend. It happened inside Consumer Square near Five Below. Again, it was a car pedestrian accident resulting in the pedestrian being taken to the hospital. New Hartford police looking for information. You can contact them at 315-724-7111. Congressman Brandon Williams providing an update to constituents on his current medical condition. Williams says he developed an infection after undergoing heart bypass surgery a few weeks ago. As a result, a team of doctors at George Washington University in D.C. had to give him an IV antibiotic treatment to address the issue. Williams, a Republican, says he remains on the road to recovery. Local gas prices continue to rise at a quick rate. Central New York drivers noticing the increase. We're now at $3.85 a gallon this morning for regular fuel here in the Utica Rome market. That's up almost 10 cents over the past week. Statewide, the average is at $3.81 a gallon. Our neighbors in Syracuse paying almost a dime less at an average of $3.78 a gallon. With summer in full swing, the State Department of Health is reminding you to keep yourself safe from dangerous UV rays. The agency says anyone who spends time outdoors should wear sunscreen and make sure to reapply it after swimming or sweating. Prolonged exposure to UV rays can lead to melanoma, which is the 9th most common type of cancer in New York State. And organizers of the State Fair adding yet another free experience for this year's event. The interactive dinosaur expedition will be set up in the fair's Exposition Center. It'll feature replicas of creatures like the T-Rex. There will also be a fossil dig as well as story time for kids. The fair begins on August 23rd and runs through Labor Day, which is September 4th. Your WIBX Weather Center forecast calling for a nice week with much less humidity than we've seen over the past few weeks. Today, we have a slight chance of showers between 10 and noon. Otherwise, mostly sunny skies, a high today reaching 76 degrees. Tonight, slight chance of showers before 9 p.m., otherwise mostly cloudy overnight, a low falling back to 53. Sunshine for your Tuesday with a high of 75. Wednesday, mostly sunny and a high of 78. Bill, right now we have a few clouds outside and 57 degrees. WIBX News Time is 8:05. All right, the Mets got a series win as they beat the Nationals on Sunday, a final of 5-2, and Justin Verlander picked up the victory, the 250th win of his career. Francisco Lindor had a home run, his 21st of the season. New York now 50-55. They visit the Kansas City Royals to start a 3-game series tomorrow night. The Orioles celebrate a series win against the Yankees. 9-3 was the final Sunday night. Luis Severino charged with the loss. Jake Bauers managed to go 2 for 5 at the plate with a solo homer and a pair of RBIs. The Yankees now last in the AL East at 55-50. They return to the Bronx to start a 3-game series tonight against the Tampa Bay Rays. Sterling Shepard, healthy once again. The Giants wide receiver was activated from the PUP list on Sunday. Said he felt great in his first practice since tearing his left ACL last fall. Shepard not only did individual drills in the team's 4th practice, but he even took some reps in live drills. Aaron Rodgers is unlikely to suit up for Thursday night's Hall of Fame game in Canton against the Cleveland Browns, but that's not stopping him from taking shots at another team this week. The Jets quarterback defended offensive coordinator Nathaniel Hackett for comments recently made by Denver Broncos head coach Sean Payton. Quote, "I think it was out of line, inappropriate, and I think he needs to keep my coaches' names out of his mouth," end quote. That's what Rodgers said about Sean Payton. Last week, Payton called Hackett's tenure with the Broncos in 2022 one of the worst coaching jobs in the history of the NFL. Wow. New York visits Denver in Week 5 of the regular season.
All right. We're also going to hear from Davey this hour, who is out in Buffalo, and he's at the Bills training camp, which is opened up. Get a little something from Davey on what he's seeing out there in Buffalo this morning. He'll be back in studio tomorrow, but on the phone later in the hour. We'll get to him coming up. 8:07, want to help some kids at a very important time, a crucial time as they're heading back to school. You'll be able to do it with the program that we're walking into right here, and literally walking into this program. We'll speak with some people on that coming up next at WIBX.
Check out Mattress Express's grand opening of their new superstore in New Hartford, 4488 Commercial Drive next to Pet Supply Plus, Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, Sealy Hybrid, Purple, Puffy, The Number Bed by Instant Comfort, Posh & Lavish, and more. Stop in, open 7 days a week.
Do you feel like your current checking account just isn't working for you anymore? Maybe monthly fees are cutting into your already tight budget. Or maybe you're looking for more convenience with additional bells and whistles that allow you to accomplish more with less work. Whatever your reason, it might be a great time for you to check out the lineup of accounts at Adirondack Bank. From no-frills basic accounts to paperless high-yield accounts, we're sure to have the perfect solution for your needs. We also offer a large selection of extras such as customizable debit cards, electronic statements, online banking and bill pay, mobile banking, and mobile deposit. We also have a great client services team ready to answer your questions with our live chat. Visit our website at www.adkbank.com. Use the checking comparison tool and see which options are best for you. That's adkbank.com. Member FDIC.
Right now, it's Steve Ponte Mazda's Move to Mazda Sale event. And it is back. And if you're even considering a new vehicle, you should check out Steve Ponte Mazda. Right now, enjoy 2.9% APR financing up to 36 months on new 2023 Mazda CX-30s, CX-5s, and CX-50s. Enjoy 0% APR financing up to 36 months on the new 2023 Mazda CX-9s. It is the Move to Mazda sales event. It's going on right now. Ricky Z says, come on in and check out these new Mazdas from the dealership that's achieved first place nationally in customer satisfaction. Steve Ponte Mazda, Commercial Drive in Yorkville.
Hi, I'm Jill Hayes.
And I'm Scott Hayes from New York Sash.
Scott, what do you like best about what we do?
You know, I like seeing the look on people's faces when we change their lives.
Scott, are you sure you're not getting carried away?
Hey, everything we do makes life easier and helps people love their homes a little more. Windows, siding, and how about our bathrooms? A new bathroom can be more than a cosmetic upgrade. It can also improve safety and usability.
Oh, you're totally right. Sorry, not used to that.
I know. But nothing's better than seeing the difference we make with a bathroom conversion, like a walk-in shower or a safety tub.
Right. It's peace of mind, better accessibility, and a safer layout. And they cost less than you'd think.
Plus, we can custom fit them. We're fully certified, and we can do the upgrade in just a few days, so you can safely enjoy your home for years to come.
Come see our bathroom accessibility options on display at the New York Sash Idea and Design Center on Oriskany Boulevard in Whitesboro. And as always, let our family take care of your family.
Deodorant you use on your butt? You heard that right. I'm Dr. Shannon Klingman, founder of Lumi Whole Body Deodorant. It's time to summer-proof your body odor. Lumi's formula works everywhere. Pits, underboobs, and yep, butts too. All those places that naturally tend to get a little bit stinky when the weather gets hot. Lumi's clinically proven to control odor for 72 hours. That's 3 whole days of fresh fun in the sun. As an OBGYN, I met thousands of women looking for a better way to control odor below the belt. So I created Lumi, a pH-optimized, aluminum-free deodorant that actually works, with over 150,000 5-star reviews to prove it. Ready for your freshest summer ever? Head to LumiDeodorant.com to get started.
There's a special offer for listeners. Use code 23 and get an extra $5 off a Lumi starter pack that comes with a free product of your choice and ships free with code 23. LumeDeodorant.com, code 23 for an extra $5 off a Lumi starter pack. That's LumeDeodorant.com, code 23.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
And the official coffee of the radio program comes from Daylight Donuts in New Hartford. And it is espressos, lattes, of course, over 14 flavors of lattes. Get a box of coffee or fresh donuts and bagels every single day. A fast, lightning fast drive-through. It's Daylight Donuts in New Hartford. Hit the post there. Wow. Crazy.
Well done, Bill.
In studio right now is Eve Vanderwall from Excellus. And good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
So we're kicking off a program here where you can go to our website at WIBX950.com and click in the, what do they call that? The menu bar, the trending bar?
What's trending?
Yeah. Kicks for Kids. And it allows you to go through a website, actually through Amazon, where you can purchase sneakers and shoes for kids as they go back to school. Something a little different, which really should be included in supplies. But for Excelis, it's all about improving the community overall, right? And talk about that if you could.
It is. So, as a non-for-profit health plan, it's important that we give back to the local community, whether it's through initiatives like Kicks for Kids or through our program based on community investments. So this is a really good fit to our mission.
Yeah. You don't think about it. I mean, I know there's an emphasis on back-to-school supplies, and that is very, very important. But at the same time, some kids are not going back to school with the shiny new sneakers, and that's a big deal for kids.
It is a very big deal,
Yeah.
and I think you nailed it. It's overlooked. People think about the backpacks, the school supplies, even clothing, but shoes, I mean, they get worn out so quickly.
Yeah.
And it's not only good for physical, but mental. The kids like the sneakers.
Yep.
They really do.
And I hate to say this, but having a 7-year-old, there's so many things that kids will focus on. Like my son will tell me, he'll wear like a little bandana or something to summer camp. And he's like, oh, yeah, the kids didn't like it. They were picking on me because of it. I mean, things like that can kind of, I hate to say it, derail a whole day for a child.
For sure.
It's a great way to address that issue.
Yeah, I agree.
And you talk about this community. We're a very giving community, and that is important because it does rise an entire community. Is there more of a need today than there used to be?
There definitely is.
Yeah.
And I have to give a shout out to the neighborhood center because, again, we partnered with them. They came up with a list of over 100 different sizes of sneakers, and they already have a list of children who need the sneakers. So we know it's going to those in need. And I do think everything is getting more costly.
Yeah.
So if we can help out in even a small way, that's a great thing.
And you think about the nice way of the nice part about doing it this way using Amazon is explain the reason that. Because some would say, well, you could have gone to a local company, you could have gone to, but in this case, it just becomes very simple and easy.
Very simple.
And there are so many different sizes and needs.
Yes.
This kind of hits that spot.
Exactly. So as you said, if you go to your website and you click on, again, it's WIBX950.com, or it could be the mobile app, and you click on the Kicks for Kids link, and you'll be directed right to Amazon. And it's set up like a registry. So you go on, and there's all different kinds of sneakers, all different prices. And as you click it and purchase it, the number will go down. So you will get exactly what is needed. So there won't be sneakers that are purchased that won't already be on a list to give to a child.
So the registry thing, that makes sense.
Yeah, and it's great. I'm actually on it right now. Again, there's a list of different styles and looks of sneakers. The sizes are picked out. And again, it ranges anywhere from like $15 to $30 generally. So it's not like, Sammy requested the new Jordans or the new Yeezys or whatever the case might be. And somebody messaged into the program, and I think this is something that we forget about sometimes. A lot of schools have a policy where they want the kids to be properly equipped so there aren't injuries. So if the child doesn't have sneakers, they're not allowed to participate in gym class.
Right.
So this is another element of getting the kids ready for school. And I think it's something that's unique. You can do it right on our website. Sign up. It's not too expensive. Again, it's between $15 and $30. And the whole stress of what style, what color's in, what brand is in at this time, it's already decided for you. It makes it quick and easy.
On Amazon, I found slip-ons. I don't have to bend over to tie my shoes. Love it. It's wonderful.
That's in the fall. We'll have, in the Christmas season, we'll have Kicks for Seniors, and Bill will be on the list.
That's right. I'm even getting to work earlier now. It's incredible. I mean, it's really a benefit. So, okay. Anything else you want to add? And really, as your theme is. When we get back to the community, our community, everybody benefits.
That's
I think
exactly
that's
right.
important to drive that home.
That's exactly right. And that's how I would have ended it. So thanks for having us
All
here
right.
today. And we're a pleasure to partnering.
All righty. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
We appreciate it. And go to our website, again, WIBX950.com. And the black bar that goes across the top is the trending bar. Kicks for Kids is the first spot. Click on it, and you'll be helping out kids in your neighborhood. Pretty cool. It's 8:19 at WIBX.
Utica and the Mohawk Valley. Kevin Fier from Mattress Express. We have a beautiful store in Oneida on the Glenwood Plaza by the movie theaters, but we just moved our New Hartford store to 4488 Commercial Drive next to Pet Supplies Plus. It's a beautiful bigger superstore on Commercial Drive in New Hartford. No one else in New York State has all these brands under one roof. Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, Sealy Hybrid, Purple, Puffy, the Number Bed by Instant Comfort, Posh and Lavish, and more. And check out these grand opening summer deals on select luxury king and queen sets like the Number Bed by Instant Comfort. Get an 85-inch flat screen TV or a beautiful Weber stainless steel gas grill. Any king or queen set in the store, $9.99 or higher, other than Tempur-Pedic. Get a free adjustable base upgrade. Call 1-800-NEW-BEDS. Go to MattressExpressNY.com or stop into our new superstore, Commercial Drive, New Hartford, next to Pet Supply Plus Mattress Express.
Cliff's Local Market is now hiring.
As a locally owned growing family business, there's a lot of opportunity for me to progress in my career here. And it feels like I'm a part of a big family.
I'm so glad I joined the Cliffs team. The benefits are great too. I can even get dental and vision as a part-time employee. But I really like the employee meal discount.
Seeing all of my local customers each day and being able to put a smile on their faces is what I most enjoy about working at Cliffs.
Come join our team.
Apply at cliffslocalmarket.com/careers.
Hun, we need to stop putting off getting life insurance.
I know. It's just been so busy, and I'm sure the cost is out of our budget.
Well, Jen told me that they got a $500,000 term life insurance policy from Ethos for less than $23 a month. All online with no complicated forms and no medical exam. All they had to do was answer a few health questions.
Wait, no medical exam and all online?
I know, right? It's not easy to think about, but if something happened to you, James and I would be...
Okay, I get it. Let's get a quote from Ethos right now. Wow, you were right. There's no medical exam. And Ethos makes the whole online process fast and easy. And look at these rates and coverage options. It's great protection and totally fits our budget.
Ethos. They've removed all the barriers from getting coverage. Go to checkethos.com to get your free online quote. That's checkethos.com. Quote based on a healthy, non-smoking 30-year-old male with a 20-year term policy. Rates may vary.
The Angie's List you know and trust is now Angie, and we're so much more than just a list. We still connect you with top local pros and show you ratings and reviews, but now we also let you compare upfront prices on hundreds of projects and book a service instantly. We can even handle the rest of your project from start to finish. So remember, Angie's List is now Angie, and we're here to get your job done right. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language? In as little as 3 weeks, Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
The Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills is accepting new patients. The Falcon Clinic is the area's premier osteopathic medical clinic. So if you're looking for a new family doctor, call the Falcon Clinic. In fact, I spoke with someone yesterday who is looking for a new family doctor and said, I want a doctor who's willing to listen to me, who's willing to make sure that an examination is thorough, and I'm going to the Falcon Clinic for that reason. And I can attest to that. It is thorough and willing to look at everything. Oftentimes you'll go to a doctor and you say, I'm thinking maybe this is going on. Yeah, it's probably not that. When you hear it's probably not that, I don't think that's a really good medical statement. You'll never hear that at the Falcon Clinic. It's probably not that. You should be okay. Let's not do the test.
Okay.
Blows my mind, right? The Falcon Clinic, if you're looking for a thorough family physician, or you're looking for a different approach, the osteopathic approach, which combines modern medicine with medicine that includes your body in the recovery. Things that you can do in the recovery that make for possibly less medicine, and it happens all the time. Call today, 315-507-4751. They are accepting new patients under one roof. 3 physicians, Dr. Zielinski, Dr. Shomolewski, Dr. Kosminski, everything from a family practitioner to acupuncture. It's the Falcon Clinic, 315-507-4751.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
A lot of comments here this morning. A lot of comments on the political side. In fact, there is a Democrat who's claiming that this Democrat is going to be endorsing Mike Galimi in the race and not Celeste Friend. Manaski has that information.
Yes. Okay. So this comment came directly to my text message from somebody who's politically involved. It says Dave Raffaero is openly backing Mike Galimi for mayor. Of course,
Wow.
Dave Raffaero, former Democrat mayor in the city of Utica. I do find that interesting. Let's see here. Do you want the comment here on Sermonaro when Sermonaro was running?
Yeah.
All right. This is what this says.
This is back when I'd worked on the primary campaign of Bob Cardillo. I was doing work for that. But then when he stayed in the race, I left the campaign.
So this is referring to that year being 2011, and this is when Rob Palmieri was elected mayor. It says, when Rob Palmieri won his first election, Bob Cardillo stayed on the ballot, but he came to Mike Sermonaro and said, Mike, if you make me economic development director and make Joe Hobica corporate counsel, I'll pull my name off the ballot. Mike Sermonaro wouldn't do it. Look for something similar here. And then I said, I asked the
on the Hobica thing, I would find that hard to believe, considering that I was on that campaign and there was a general disdain for Joe Hobica on the Bob Cardillo campaign because it was felt that he didn't support him staying on the ballot. And I remember that quite well. So I'd find that part of the story not correct. However, I've heard the Sermonaro Cardillo thing before.
Also, okay, other comments kind of related here.
But I'll bet you Cardillo would say that never happened.
Again, I'll reach out to him. We'll ask him. We'll ask him when he's on the program.
Yep.
Fred in Clinton says, would Celeste Friend commit to not making Utica a sanctuary city for illegals? I don't know, but we'll ask her when she's on the program. And I also wanted to mention here, John in New Hartford said, Bill, I saw Classified at Harpoon Eddie's yesterday. Was it yesterday or Saturday?
Yeah.
It was a great show. I saw Bill there, too. He was standing on his toes, and he still couldn't see Greeley Ford.
That's exactly right. Very true. Thank you for that. And what a great show. They sounded awesome. And it was, the whole Sylvan Beach was just packed.
Yeah.
And Harpoon Eddie's was packed. I had said to my wife, it reminds me of the old days when you'd go to a place and it would just be jam-packed. So Classified this past Sunday, I believe this coming Sunday, the band Showtime is out there at Harpoon Eddie's. So they're hitting the big bands.
Yeah, and what a great...
And big crowds.
Great day for it yesterday. Like you said, great big crowds. And with Showtime going to be there, I'd have to imagine it's going to be another packed house. Was it next weekend when they're performing?
Yes, next Sunday. Yeah. Okay, I have a few other comments that we'll get to coming up in a second, but I wanted to tack on a couple of stories. Evan Brown coming up in a second. We'll be talking about the impending indictment of Donald Trump. There's been an interesting twist in Jack Daniel whiskey. Are you ready? Are you a Jack Daniels fan?
Okay, true story, and I know this. I probably shouldn't share this story. When I went to college in Plattsburgh for a while, my roommate was a little bit older. And I had just turned 21, I think, and he was like 24, so he had experience drinking. And he would always, it was his favorite, he had like 6 or 7 different Jack Daniels style T-shirts, and we would drink Jack frequently. And it's one of those things where I have a lot of bad memories of being sick, and you know that taste in your mouth when you wake up the next morning?
You can't drink it today.
I do not like it. I don't even like the smell of it anymore.
Interesting.
So I haven't had any varieties. I haven't had the new thing. They got Jack Fire. They got this. You name it. I don't touch that stuff.
Either. Well, there's a new one coming. By the way, that same thing happened to me with Mad Dog 2020. Yep. Terrible.
If it wasn't for those early 20s, Bill'd still be drinking it today.
I still would be. You know,
Yeah, right.
It's always nice in the evening to have a glass of fine wine. There's been an interesting tequila twist that's been put on Tennessee whiskey. Jack Daniels has announced a limited edition batch of classic Jack that's been aged in tequila barrels.
Okay.
So it gives it a little bit of a different taste. It's called Jack Daniels Distillery Series Selection Number 11. Typically, distillery series bottles are only available for purchase on-site or at select specialty shops in Tennessee. These will move fast and will run you about $41.99 if you find one online that hasn't had the price jacked up.
Okay.
No pun intended on the jacked up.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. But I would imagine that offers a little bit of a different flavor, right?
Yeah, and I wonder if it takes away some of that. Again, to me, having consumed it at one point in my life so frequently, it just has a very distinct taste. And I know they look for that, they intend that. But if it pulled back that distinct flavor and taste a little bit, maybe I would be receptive
Well,
to
I think
trying it again.
had you not gotten sick on it, you probably you wouldn't have this.
Well, there's no question. Yeah, there's no question.
And Virginia Beach, this is just, you see it. The airplanes have gotten strict on this in terms of, I'm getting a weird phasing sound on my microphone. When it comes to support animals, so people were trying to bring pigs on board on airplanes and everything else. And the air companies finally just said, the airlines finally said, enough is enough. We can't do this anymore. So I guess you could have a support cat or a support dog, but once you get into some of the other animals, they're saying no.
I thought they went across the board. No
they
dogs, cats.
They may very well have, and maybe they had to do it that way if they were going to do it. In Virginia Beach, Nicholas Olenek has won the ability in court to keep his emotional support emu. You've got to be kidding me.
Stupid.
Battling mental health challenges through his life, Olenek heard about emus and how they can be great emotional support companions. So he bought an emu. He bought an emu egg. He cared for it, watched it hatch in December, and has bottle fed it as it is grown. Then a nosy neighbor had to go and complain. Olenek was cited for having livestock in an area not designated for it. So this is a bit of a different story because he would have this is at his home, right?
Yes.
WIBX, stand by.
Yeah.
We'll be right with you. This is Evan Brown? It is.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I received this message here. My name is Stan. I was a common down here at the Ilion Marine Corps League.
Oh,
and,
okay.
Someone had called. They were looking for maybe some possible...
Yeah. We want to talk about what happened over the weekend. If you can hold on just for a second, Jeff will get to you and we'll get you right on, okay?
No problem.
All right, thanks. We have nobody answering our phones today because Ben had to leave, so that's why Jeff is running back and forth. Anyway, this is kind of a unique situation because this is at his home. And the neighbor, complaining that he has it. Nosiness. It's not like it's bothering the neighborhood. Anyway, he was cited for having livestock in an area not designated for it. Last week, a court ruling came in and negated the citation and allowed Olenek to keep his emu, which he named Nimbus. Nimbus was moved, however, to a farm hours away where she became close friends with another emu that lived on the property. Olenek now plans to run for office after being inspired by his appearance in court and will likely get a new emu for the house, if that makes any sense. And in China, a man decided to relocate from a farm to a city apartment, so he brought the farm with him. While getting acclimated to his new urban surroundings, his neighbors were getting acclimated to the fact that he had 7 calves on his 5th floor balcony. Now, this is going too far. Yes. The constant mooing, the distinctive aroma, as you might imagine. Neighbors were eventually forced to call the police, who forcibly removed the baby cattle from the apartment just a day after they had arrived at their new surroundings.
So, in a follow-up to the thing what the airlines did, the airlines, many of them banned all support animals, including dogs and cats, not service animals. There's a difference there. So people...
service versus support.
Support, yes.
Okay, I didn't
know.
So
if it's your support kitty or dog, you're not allowed to bring it, I think, in most cases. But, however, if you are blind and you have a service dog, the airline looks at that differently, in my opinion, as they should.
Okay, so I want to get into this. Who is the person that's on the line?
This is Stan Lowasco.
Okay, Stan at the Ilion Marine Corps League. And so about a year ago, Marine Corps Lance Corporal Sean Willey disappeared on the trails of the Appalachian Mountains in North Carolina. Since then, They have been searching for his remains. They were able to find them, and then I believe the family was struggling in getting the remains home. There was help here locally, and over the weekend, a ceremonial event was held. And Stan, if you can tell us about what happened on Saturday in Ilion. Good morning. Thanks for coming on.
Oh, good morning. It's a pleasure to be here. Essentially what happened is his remains are found in North Carolina. And the Marines on that end stepped up and said, well, there's no need to turn around, and realizing the family's situation. They said out of respect they didn't want to try and have his remains shipped to UPS and have someone receive it in the mail. So the state of Georgia, Marine Corps League, Department of Georgia, comprised and put together a big motorcade. They, on their end, they one of the Marines made a handmade urn for him out of wood, nice little cabinetry.
Wow.
And then another Marine stepped forward and built a Marine Corps style footlocker. And along the trail, all his personal items are put into this footlocker. And as the motorcade was coming up from Georgia through North Carolina all the way up the eastern seaboard, they at all their fuel stops, Marine Corps detachments were there.
Wow.
And putting memorabilia in it, and of course, rendering honors with a hand salute and a small ceremony. The motorcade come into Ilion probably around 6 o'clock, 6:15 Saturday evening, and it was like a miniature Rolling Thunder. If you ever followed the episodes in Washington, there was probably between 75 and 90 motorcycles come in guarding what they call the Patriot Guard.
Mm-hmm.
It was quite impressive and quite noisy, so the village was woke up on it. We, in turn, brought the remains in with the family into our building. We had the local recruiters come from Syracuse, and they turned around and displayed, refolded the flag, and presented it to the family with full military honors. And we had a reception for that family and friends that wanted to turn around and express their sympathy to them. So,
and I know it seems a lot of people came out to watch as well.
It was quite a large turnout, a lot bigger than we thought, and we're very, very happy and very honored to do something like this.
All right.
Well, we have a code of honor no Marine has ever forgotten.
Well, and I'm glad you followed through on that, and it's amazing to hear that all the way up from North Carolina, people, veterans, the Marines, followed through all the way for the trip home. That's pretty impressive.
And they fought rain, and was American Legion members involved in it too, Patriot Riders, Combat Veterans Associations.
Right.
And it was a long, wet ride coming up, as you know how Central New York is.
Yeah.
One of the things we're noted for is not a moisture problem. So I was really quite impressed and honored to have all those people there. And again, it was an honor to serve this family.
All right. Stan, thanks for what you've done. Thanks for your service, and we appreciate it.
Can I just put one little plug in?
You certainly can. Okay,
this October, on October 23rd, somewhere within that window, it will be publicized. We're probably one of the few Marine Corps League detachments in the country. We put on a memorial service for the loss of all our brothers in Beirut.
Okay.
It's quite an all-day-long ceremony, and it's open to the public, and, we'd like to see some more support with it.
All right. Well, let's talk to you as we get closer to that event.
Stan, hang on the line, and I'll get your contact info, and we can follow up in October.
All right. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Stan. Stand by, and Jeff will be right with you. Latest surrounding Trump and his impending indictment. Evan Brown from Fox News standing by right now. Good morning, Evan.
Good morning.
What do we know about this? It looks like an indictment seems to be likely, right?
Well, another indictment, right?
Another one.
We are expecting actually two potential new indictments against the former president. One would come from the federal district court in D.C., and this would have to do with January 6th stuff. The other from a Georgia state court in Atlanta, having to do with 2020 election interference allegations. So we've been waiting on those two. We suspect that they might be happening soon. But before the weekend, there was a superseding indictment. That's basically like a second draft filed with regard to the Mar-a-Lago documents case. It alleges that the Mar-a-Lago property manager who works for the former president tried to delete security camera recordings and then lied about it. So that person is being brought before the judge today at some point in Miami. But it also alleges more obstruction matters with regard to former President Trump. So these stories continue, and I suspect that they will continue for some time. The Mar-a-Lago documents case is set for a trial next year at some point, although these things could always be delayed.
It is, we always heard about, and I heard a lot of this over the weekend, it's the cover-up that seems to be worse than the initial crime. We heard that during Watergate.
Well, that's always the type of narrative that gets repeated in things like this. Although we've not had things quote unquote like this regarding a former president who is running again and is a serious contender for the job again, and makes a good point at least that perhaps this prosecution is politically motivated. So. We're in a lot of uncharted waters here, and I suspect that we'll probably not find our way out of it pretty quickly.
Yeah. All right. Evan Brown, thank you. Appreciate the time. Thank you.
You got it.
All right. There's an example of opinion, right? So he makes a good point. Now, is it a point or is it a good point? That kind of goes back to the thing we talked about earlier about CNN saying that he was the
liar in chief?
The big lie. They were calling it the big lie. And to me, you're passing judgment on the story, which you're supposed to be reporting a story, and both sides, and allow the people to determine. I would not necessarily say that a good point is that this is political. It can be very political, but this is all real evidence that exists out there, and I just can't I can't get January 6th out of my head. So I'm not sure that is a good point. This is a witch hunt. Basically, I don't buy that.
As it relates to the different cases that he faces, or specifically January 6th?
I think any of what he's currently facing, and maybe it is political, but this is being brought on. This is being brought on by prosecutors, but ultimately, the indictments are handed down by a jury of his peers. Call it political if you want, but there has to be evidence in there, and the question is going to be, once that is out and ultimately goes to trial, are these valid cases? That's when we're really going to know.
Well, if I was taking my temperature of the crowd, those who already don't like him would say, see, I told you so. And those who love him would say, it's all political. It's BS.
It'll still be all political. I think you're right. Where does it all go? You got to wonder. Brank Construction, B-R-A-N-C-K, if you're looking for anything concrete. Foundation repair, old stone walls, old block walls, sidewalks, driveways, stairs, retaining walls. It's all there. If it's concrete, it's Brank Construction. Nobody does it better than Brank. 315-894-3481. Brank Construction. Serving all of upstate New York. If it's concrete, call Brank. 315-894-3481.
Here's a true summer sizzler. At my Carl's, I got Lane dual reclining sofas, regular $9.99, now just $4.99. Nobody, and I mean nobody, beats my prices.
Hello, I'm Joanne Moskal, Chief Operating Officer for Hospice and Palliative Care. At Hospice, we often hear that caregivers think of hospice as giving up, but what they are really doing is giving their loved one the opportunity to make the most of the time they have together. When a patient is appropriate for hospice, they've already been diagnosed with a terminal illness. You are not giving up on your loved one. Instead, you are increasing their care by compassionate nurses to ensure they remain comfortable throughout their disease. We want to know what is most important to you and what a good day looks like to the patient and to you. Together, we will design the care you want on your terms. We often hear, we wish we had called hospice sooner.
Hospice and Palliative Care, servicing Oneida, Herkimer, and Madison County. Middle Settlement Road, New Hartford, 315-735-6484, or visit us at hospicecareinc.org. Hospice and Palliative Care. When you need us most.
Hun, we need to stop putting off getting life insurance.
I know. It's just been so busy, and I'm sure the cost is out of our budget.
Well, Jen told me that they got a $500,000 term life insurance policy from Ethos for less than $23 a month. All online with no complicated forms and no medical exam. All they had to do was answer a few health questions.
Wait, no medical exam and all online?
I know, right? It's not easy to think about, but if something happened to you, James and I would be...
Okay, I get it. Let's get a quote from Ethos right now. Wow, you were right. There's no medical exam. And Ethos makes the whole online process fast and easy. And look at these rates and coverage options. It's great protection and totally fits our budget.
Ethos. They've removed all the barriers from getting coverage. Go to checkethos.com to get your free online quote. That's checkethos.com. Quote based on a healthy, non-smoking 30-year-old male with a 20-year term policy. Rates may vary.
If you've been wishing for new windows this summer, now is the time. We were able to get brand new New York Sash windows. We did half last year and the other half this spring, and they have just really changed everything when it comes to the noise factor in the home, when it comes to keeping the cool in this summer. It is a significant difference in our utility bill. Right now, this month, you can save 50% on the installation of brand new windows from New York Sash. The temps are hot, although we got a little relief here this week. But you know it's going back up into the heat factor. We're going to get hot again, and New York Sash can help. New windows from New York Sash will keep you from wasting energy and money this fall. And right now is the chance to save big with 50% off the installation of new windows, professionally installed and made to fit your home. Whether you need one window or a whole house full, you'll get big savings this month with 50% off the installation of new windows. Plus, you'll save on energy dollars for years to come. Beautiful custom-made bays and bows to enhance your home. Sliders and casements, plus the traditional double-hung window. All on sale, all styles, this month in New York Sash with professional installation and warranty. If you want new windows before winter, don't wait any longer. Visit NewYorkSash.com, or you can stop by their showroom, 349 Oriskany Boulevard in Whitesboro.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Hey, Monday morning after a long weekend. I don't know, it just seemed long to me. It really wasn't long, but a lot of stuff going on every single weekend. And I think before we know it, right, we'll be dealing with the wonderful New York State Fair, which is really 3 weeks away. We're not even into August yet, but everybody's talking about it.
Yeah, August 23rd is when it starts, so it's, 3 weeks and 2 days?
If you're a fan of The Sopranos, what was the name of The Sopranos boat? Do you remember?
Yes, I do. Isn't there a restaurant or an eatery around here with the same name? It wasn't Stugatz. What? No,
it was
Stugatz. It
Yeah,
was. Okay,
yeah, good one. The boat is called Stugatz. It's the fishing boat from The Sopranos. Fans of The Sopranos now could actually own the boat. The fishing boat made famous during the show's run. Currently, the 1999 Cape Fear 47 Sportfish is named Never Enough. But rest assured, it's the same vessel. It is the one that was called Stugatz. The boat current owner bought it in 2016 because he and his family love fishing, and there was a cool factor with having a boat that was featured on such an iconic television show.
Sure.
Do you know what they're asking for?
Oh, it's going to be something outrageous.
I would put the name back on it, Stugatz.
Right, I would put Stugatz on it. Now, keep in mind also that I don't know. I don't know that it was actually shot, no pun intended, inside the boat. But there is, if you follow along with the series, one of the main characters, and I don't want to say his name because I don't want to get in trouble, but it was Big Bumpin'
Big Pussycat.
There you go. He was, I believe, killed by Tony and a couple of the crew members, allegedly on the boat. Now, whether or not that was actually shot, no pun intended.
I think a couple were off the boat, right?
Yeah, killed.
Didn't his sister's boyfriend there, didn't he go that way too?
Maybe the remains, but ultimately he was killed in the kitchen. I think Tony bashed his face in with a frying pan because he killed the horse.
Right. right. You know this series pretty well.
I was a big fan. I know you were too.
I was too, but I don't recall.
One more on the boat is when what's the with the gray sideburn, the gray hair. He looks like the Philadelphia Eagles helmet. Yeah. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. Paulie Gualtieri, Uncle Paulie. He had said some bad things about Tony, and Tony confronts him as they're fishing on a boat. And there's a whole thing about, am I going to kill him? Am I not going to kill him? So, yeah, the boat was popular in that show.
Yeah. Well, it's selling for, I don't know what it would normally sell for, but it's a 1999 boat. Selling for $299,900.
That's significantly less than I expected.
Okay. I would expect significantly more than what it would cost if it wasn't in the TV show.
Right.
Yeah. But less than you'd expect that it was.
I thought it was a couple million. Yeah. Just because of the notoriety with that show.
If you're on Facebook and I'm not sure that you know this, but at one point, you remember when Facebook had their somebody got in with information and they stole information. Either they stole the information or it was just given away. There was a lawsuit. There is currently a lawsuit. It's a $725 million lawsuit that was ultimately settled for $725 million. And the settlement is class action. So if you were a Facebook member and you feel you had your information stolen and basically not protected, as they said they would, you could get your share of the $725 million. But the clock is ticking. The settlement was signed in December, and those who wish to file a claim have until August 25th to become a part of the settlement. The final per-person payout will depend on how many people physically file claims, so no single claimant will be getting rich off this. In fact, you might get a check for like $12 or something.
I believe the way the phrase goes is only the lawyers get rich on the class action lawsuits.
I believe that is true, and most people will walk away with just a little bit. But the more people who sign up, the less money there will be as that goes forward. On the line right now from Fox News Radio, Jeff Manasso. News report suggesting Tesla intentionally inflated EV range estimates. How far you're able to go, Jeff Manasso. Good morning. What do we know on this one?
Good morning, my friend. Good to be with you as always. So this is a Reuters report that suggests that Tesla performed intentional inflation about the range estimates of its EVs. The report, citing an anonymous source, says that the EV giant inflated projections at a full charge, and then once Tesla reached about 50% state of the charge, then the numbers got a little bit more realistic, so that drivers have a better chance of avoiding getting stranded, of course, along with a 15-mile buffer that allows the vehicle to drive on a battery after it reaches zero. The Reuters report also claims that Tesla created a diversion team to cancel service appointments from customers concerned because their vehicle fell short of the alleged misleading range estimates. Then those cancellations saved the company about $1,000 apiece.
Wow! And don't with these batteries, with these types of batteries, it will decline. Its efficiency will decline as time goes on.
Oh, I mean that's every car.
Yeah,
that's every EV
point.
out there.
Yeah.
I mean, the EPA made Tesla reduce its 2020 model year vehicle range estimates by an average of about 3%. And Tesla was also fined earlier this year in South Korea for only delivering about half of its car's estimated range in cold weather, though a problem, again, that all EVs have. We've done a story a couple of times on the Ford F-150 Lightning. You put some weight in the back of that truck bed, and the range goes down significantly.
Yeah, wow,
you try an
right.
EV in cold climates, same thing. Hot climates, same thing. I mean,
Yep.
the industry as a whole has some work to do to be keeping up with its exact ranges. But, across the electric vehicle industry, it's common to see larger range numbers at a full charge and then see faster drop-offs later, especially when they're driving on highways. EVs use significantly more energy in constant motion and city driving as well. it's not a perfect science at this point, but this report also comes as California regulators are targeting Tesla over safety issues with the company's autopilot feature, as well as its marketing practices. But that also comes after Tesla headquarters fled California last year from Texas. So is some of this politics? Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Tesla has not responded since the story broke a few days back, but maybe they'll say something about it.
Well, in New York, the plan is, for just one example, by 2035, to have all school buses must be electric by 2035. There's just no way that's going to happen. And, you think about it, upstate is cold. The winters are difficult. There are hills. There are all of that stuff. And now you're taking a bus and you're putting 45 kids on that bus. Boy, I don't know how we get there into 2035.
And so these small towns are going to have to redo their electrical systems and grids because they just can't handle the power. We've already seen that in some towns across the country.
Yep, there's no doubt.
To school buses.
Obviously, you can see why Tesla would like to, this can last for this. Let's increase it by 3% and see if we can get away with it. And it sounds like that's what they did here. Okay. Interesting stuff. As always, Jeff, we appreciate your time. Thank you.
You bet.
Have a great day. Jeff Manasso, Fox News Radio.
When you are factoring in all these other variables about the climate you're in or what part of the country, what the terrain is like, are you going up the side of a mountain or are you driving across the Midwest?
All part of it. This is all part of it.
It shouldn't come as any surprise to anybody that, and I think this is probably with all of the EV vehicles and even a gas-powered engine, that if the automobile has no passengers, is on a flat surface, a flat terrain, and is at room temperature, essentially it's 70 degrees outside, it's going to perform better than when it's 10 below or 96.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's any surprise, but the allegation that is being intentionally done is trouble for Elon Musk, and I think a lot of people should keep in mind that because he's involved with Twitter and politics, that any black eye and anything else that he's associated with kind of, I think, is multiplied on X or Twitter, whatever. Have legs, exactly.
And then one more before we get out of here this morning. It just shows you the world that we're in now. There's no tolerance for, I don't know, call it sexism, call it whatever. Did you see the play-by-play sports host in D.C. that has been fired? He and his producer, Geronimo was his name. He went by Don Geronimo, fired from WBIG-FM in Washington, D.C. after he made what was seen as disparaging remarks directed towards Charlotte McBride, who is a TV anchor for a TV station there, WUSA. During his show, Michael Source, Geronimo, referred to McBride as a Barbie girl, called her that chick, and said that he's guessing she's a cheerleader. Now, WBIG Radio is the radio partner with the Washington Commanders, and it was the Commanders who said when he went to show up for work, not allowed. He's no longer allowed to broadcast games, no longer allowed to do his show from our property. And that's when the radio station stepped in, because I think their partnership with the Commanders was in jeopardy. That's when the radio station stepped in and fired him.
So I guess I'd have to hear it. I think sometimes this stuff is overblown. It sounds like maybe if he's mentioning Barbie,
she was trying to be topical. She was apparently walking in, and as she was walking in, they referenced her and said, "Here she comes. Look at her, that chick," calling her a Barbie girl and saying, she must have been a cheerleader, and comments like that. Doesn't seem like it's that bad, but it was enough, especially for the Washington Commanders, where they have plenty of stories out there that they went through that they're kind of turning a new leaf. We're not accepting any of that stuff because we did far worse a few years ago.
Certainly. And I'll just, this came up, and I'm sure others have seen this on their Facebook feed as well. It's intended to be humor. It is a Native American gentleman who's wearing a T-shirt, and it has the Commander's colors, and there is a face with like black hair parted to the side, and it's the profile of a white guy, and it says the Caucasians.
The Caucasians.
The Washington Caucasians. It made me chuckle.
I like it. Listen, we'll get out of here. I want to remind you, if you have severe back pain, shoulder pain, neck pain, there's help. It is the Omni Surgical Center with Dr. Hyder. You don't have to live with the pain. You can have the pain go away. You can see the pain go away. You can feel the pain go away through the Omni Surgery Center. Dr. Hyder, I've called it nothing short of a miracle to watch how strategic they are in removing the pain, especially when you've gotten to a point where the medicine just doesn't work. You don't have to live with the pain. Go to their website, killpain.com, and see the Omni Surgery Center's Dr. Hyder, located in the Utica Business Park. Call today, 315-765-8448. And go to their website, killpain.com.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX 950 Utica Rome, W295DI Utica Rome, your news, talk, and sports leader, a Town Square media station.
He's the second Trump staffer caught up in the classified documents case. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The property manager at the Trump Mar-a-Lago, Florida resort will go to court today to face a conspiracy obstruction charge. Fox's Evan Brown explains why.
A superseding indictment filed before the weekend alleges Carlos de Oliveira attempted to delete surveillance recordings and lied to investigators about moving the now infamous boxes containing classified documents at a storage room on the property. That updated indictment includes new charges of obstruction levied against the former president.
Trump lawyer Alina Habba tells Fox News Sunday,
if President Trump didn't want something turned over, I assure you that is something that could have been done, but he never would act like that. Okay, he is the most ethical American I know.
Next hour, a Hunter Biden business associate will talk to lawmakers in private, and Congressman James Comer tells Fox he wants Devon Archer to
tell the truth. He has an opportunity to be a hero, like the two whistleblowers were, like the judge in Delaware was who rejected the sweetheart plea deal from the Department of Justice to Hunter Biden.
Comer, a Republican, chairs the House Oversight Committee leading the investigation into Hunter Biden's business dealings, and if the